Baltimore renewed the Beltway series last night, and the result, another tight game. The Orioles' offense came through with the big hits, while the Nats were unable to keep up. Will the Birds fly high again this afternoon, or can the Nats deliver a beatdown? Cloudy day in our nation's capital, but very comfortable for baseball. Welcome to Nationals Park. Hey, we're all kids when we come inside these gates, and it's game two, the Orioles and the Nationals. Pitching has become an interesting story in this series. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble. Scott Olsen takes them on last night. Maybe he shouldn't have.
Well, he probably should have said something before he came out on the mound. It might have cost the team a game. They knew 3 games ago that there was something wrong and that he was feeling a little tender after these starts. So you have to be honest. You have to know the difference between pain and injury. So it probably cost us a win last night because Scott Olsen tried to be tough. And Craig Stammen, he's got to be tough today. He's got to stop allowing so many hits. He's got to really challenge every hitter he faces today and throw the heck out of every pitch. Make every pitch count today.
And the best news of all, Craig Stammen wearing the home jersey. Rough outing in St. Louis when he gave up runs early and then settled down. All right, that's the Nationals pitching story. For that of the visiting Orioles, Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer. Guys?
All right, Bob, and with Brad Ferguson on the mound, he really has become a guy the Orioles like to play behind, and after that brief respite to AAA, he's been outstanding for 4 starts, in particular the last 3.
Yeah, the last time he got in trouble with a Hagen slider to Billy Butner, but we got Potomac River, we got the Anacostia River right here, and it's really for him is pretty much going to be sink or swim. Because if his sinker's working in a big ballpark like here is National Park, he's going to be effective. They got a pretty good offense. We saw them last night. Good pitching, can get good hitting out, and hopefully he will do what he does best, which is to sink the ball, keep it in the ballpark.
And Ferguson making his 2nd appearance against the Nationals in this ballpark. His only win against the Nats came at Camden Yards. Well, last night a couple of young players on display really excelled as Adam Jones hit a big 2-run home run. That was big in the game. And how about this play by Ian Desmond, throwing the weather around and robbing a base hit? It's the O's and the Nats, the Beltway Series. Lineups and first pitch are coming up.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Honda, look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. From the Navy Yard Station right down Half Street Southeast to Nationals Park. Here come the Orioles. hitting .255, 8th in the American League. And Nick Markakis. He's getting a lot of hits, not driving in a lot of runs, only 14 RBIs on the year. He's 7 for 20 over his last 5 games. And Markakis was batting third and went 1 for 5 last night. Pretty much the same bunch of Orioles who were in the lineup last night against Scott Olsen. Now here's Craig Stammen, pitching much better at home. It's his 28th career start, 9th of the year, and the record of 1-2 with a very high 5.86 ERA. Corey Patterson steps in, 2 for 5 with an RBI last night. It's 4:05 in our nation's capital, and the first pitch misses away. Patterson, for a short time, a former Net. Batting .293 with an on-base percentage. Very respectable for Corey at .383. They'll drag the button, pop it up, and even Pudge Rodriguez can't reach it. Visit trainsearch.com to locate an independent train dealer near you. Chance of rain, not too humid, and under partly cloudy skies, 77 degrees here at the ballpark. It's hard to stop a train. A lot of folks still coming down from the Navy Yard station. Patterson, Markakis, and Tejada here in the top of the first inning. Orioles tied at the bottom of the American League in runs with Cleveland, but they put 5 on the Nats last night. Corey Patterson will pop it up behind short. Christian Guzman is out there today, playing up the middle with Adam Kennedy.
Let's throw up some scouting report on Craig Stammen. 17 of his 30 runs have come in the first 2 innings of his starts. He's got to get through the first 2 innings. Don't let up. Make every pitch count. Go at everybody hard. See how long you can go. And then no more batting practice. They're hitting .294 off of him and a lot more hits than innings pitched. That's not going to cut it.
Nick Markakis hitting .301. 7th highest on base percentage in the American League at .404. Stammen goes right after him. Out of play left side. Orioles on the road, 6-17. Nationals at home, 12-8. And Washington trying to get back to the 500 mark today after losing 7 of 8 games. That all started a week ago today with a doubleheader loss at Colorado. 22-year veteran and the crew chief Jerry Lane has the plate. Mike Winters, Brian Runge, and Mike Estabrook the bases.
Now, you remember all the rookies we had last year, Bob. We kept saying, be convicted on every pitch. So you pick a curveball, throw it with everything you got. You pick a fastball, throw it, locate it with everything you got. And you should be pitching like your job depends upon it, because it does. Strasburg will be here soon. Marquis will be back in 2, maybe 3 months, maybe less. Chen-Ming Wong should be back this season. Roy Oswalt wants to be traded. There's a lot of people that want to pitch for teams. And if you don't want to pitch up here with the Nationals, they can find a job for you somewhere else.
Stammen's first career appearance against the Orioles. One of his finest moments came in the home of an American League team at Yankee Stadium last year. So he's had a taste of this interleague action. And a 2-2 had Markakis reaching and fouling off another.
Well, and I just think statistics like that, the quality start statistic is just junk. Telling somebody a 4.5 earned run average is acceptable is not okay. 6 innings and 4.5 ERA is not okay. And you should not be in the big leagues if that's your ERA.
And a 2-2 again. I know that Jim Palmer, even though he roughly completed 40% of his major league starts, wanted to complete many more than that. You didn't like coming out.
Well, yeah, and you didn't have a choice. I mean, early in my career, Earl Weaver just said, you know what, and there's nobody better. He had 9-man staffs and 12, 13-man staffs, so you just tried to go as far as you could. Then I had Robin Roberts as a roommate that had over, 500 complete games in his career. He's a pretty good guy to room with.
But let me ask you this. I mean, if you had a 4.5 earned run average, or God forbid, a 5 earned run average, were you worried about even staying in the major leagues? Do you think you
Well,
you
in our area, with a 9-man staff, there were plenty of guys that could pitch better than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what we have to get back to.
3-2, ripped to center. And Marquez lacing one extremely hard on a hop to Niger Morgan. You've already seen Kristen Guzman put away a pop fly. It's Morgan in center field between Willingham and Bernardina. Guzman and Adam Kennedy up the middle. Zimmerman, Dunn the corners, and Pudge Rodriguez has the plate to handle Craig Stammen. Nationals are third from the bottom in the National League now. Only the Cubs and the Marlins have made more errors than the Nationals, 33. So the trend over the last 2 weeks, on defense, a lot of errors, and on offense, the Nats have gone close to 2 weeks now without a stolen base. They haven't had enough men on base to get their running game going. And now Tejada steps up and whacks one, and Niger Morgan boots it. For no reason whatsoever, Nick Marquez wasn't going anywhere. And I don't know if an outfielder can get into a defensive slump, but Niger Morgan's making a bunch of unforced errors right now. Instead of first and second, first and third with one out.
Well, Jim Riggleman's got to be wondering what's been going on with the defense lately. Early in the season in April, excellent defense. In the last 3 weeks, it's really been our Achilles heel. An extra base, an extra out, going to cost you a lot of ball games.
And you know, guys, I'm all for charging the ball, but why was he so aggressive on that ball when a runner's about 100 feet in front of him, not going anywhere?
Well, you'd like to think it's inexperience. But again, you got to understand what you're going to do before the ball's hit to you, who's running, how hard the ball is hit. All those things factor into how you play the ball, and he misplayed it. And like Earl Weaver said, you're going to make physical mistakes, and that was partly physical, but it was also mental because he didn't have to play the ball. You make a great point, Bob.
We just keep talking about smart choices, Jim.
Well, I think
some of our guys just continue to make non-smart choices. They're thrown to the wrong bases. They don't hit the cutoff guy. I mean, it's just, if you play some fundamental baseball, you know, things like this just won't happen.
I mean, there is no reason.
He wasn't even really charging it, Bob. Jim?
Well, I think that's what Jim Riggleman and John McLaren were just saying. We practice all these things.
Well, you can't nonchalant any ball.
No, but you don't have to. The ball is going to get to you. Just catch it.
Line drive. Kennedy has it.
Wow.
And Craig Stammen isn't fooling any of the last 3 hitters. Now, who knows? If that runner's at second base, he might be picked off on that line drive for a double play.
Oh, most likely he would have been.
Well, way too hittable. He's a sinker ball pitcher, a big curveball pitcher, and you're just throwing way too many pitches that are in the hitting zone.
Yeah, the only good thing about that pitch is, well, a couple of things. First of all, it's an out. And the second thing was just enough away that he had to reach for it. Because if it's inner half, that ball is probably out of here. That's the way Scott, that's how hot he's been.
Biggest power threat in the Orioles lineup right now is Ty Wigginton with 12 home runs and 27 RBIs. By the way, Luke Scott almost added to his 6-game hitting streak there. 2 on, 2 out. And a strike called, even though Pudge Rodriguez was almost standing up in front of the umpire, Jerry Lane. So Marquez singled with 1 out. So did Tejada. They're still at first and third. Got inside on him. 1 and 2.
And Jim could tell you this too. When you're in the minor leagues, your defense will fail you a lot, and that's one of the reasons they're in the minor leagues. But you know, your coaches will always be saying, "Hey, listen, when you get to the major leagues, the defense will be better. You know, the guys are going to help you behind you and things like that." Right now, our defense is hurting us, and the defense at the major league. This is the major leagues. There is no higher league. You need to catch the ball, throw the ball, do things that are just fundamentally sound, and it's just unacceptable to do some of the things they've been doing.
No worries behind the plate in that department. Pudge Rodriguez blocking ball 2.
Future Hall of Famer right there. Big breaking ball, bends back towards him. You see him lean forward, keep it in front of him.
And you really have to relax your body.
Yeah.
You
got to take the hit.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to try to smother the ball, and if you abruptly with your arms, either one of them, ball's going to get by you. Orioles would have gotten a run.
They're not going to get a run this time, although Tejada goes to second base, so they'll have to call a wild pitch because of that.
I'm sure Craig said, well, I can bounce it because he's that good, but then he bounces it even farther out in home plate. And the one thing about a curveball, and you talked about it's one of his better pitches, it's a feel and touch pitch. It takes a while. I mean, some games you just have it. Sometimes it's going to take, if you pitch that long, 2-3 innings to really get the release point. Used to throw it off different points of the catcher's chest protector. I mean, right now you can see Pudge's left shoulder, wherever that protector is. That would be where I'd be throwing it, and then let it break down and away.
3-2 now with runners at second and third.
And you saw a great job of Pudge smacking his glove in the left-handed batter's box, so Wigington thought he'd be going away, and then he came back in. And just little things like that people may miss, and he's out there. Watch him smack the glove on the outside half. And then go back inside.
And being a little guy, he can really move late. The bigger catchers, even though Wieters, you'll see him this afternoon, he, for a big guy, moves very, very quickly, and he also presents a low target.
Up the middle. Orioles got 2 runs early last night. They've got 2 more here today.
Well, you didn't get a lot of help, but on the other hand, it's about making quality pitches. We talked about it last night. Rob's going to talk about it all year. I will too. And when you get a hot hitter like Wigington, who's a high ball hitter, you cannot pitch in this area. Look where the target, look where the ball is. Misses by about a foot, maybe more.
Well, we've talked about it yesterday. We talked about it last year. We're going to talk about it all the time when the two of us get together. There's a difference between throwing that pitch and trying to locate that pitch. And especially against a guy, he's hot. They've gone over the scouting reports and all that stuff. But it's your pitching your game out there. No one else is doing it for you. So try to hit your spots.
Well, the Nationals pitching coach, Steve McCaddy, and he will tell you, he said, listen, I encourage them to use their imagination. But at the end of the day, we'll tell them what their strengths are, if they're hot, if they're not. You can look at film. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you do best. And pitching up in the zone for Craig Stammen is not what he does best.
Outside 2-0, and Craig Stammen's heading for a 2-dozen pitch first inning here. At Wieters, the Orioles' 24-year-old catcher who had a birthday yesterday, steps in. 288 career batting mark, 262 here. And Rob showed us the keys to the game for Stammen, surviving the early innings. Willingham right at the edge of the track. And the Nats keep that one in the ballpark. There is a breeze blowing to left. Baltimore gets 2. Are 8th in the National League at hitting, 11th in runs. 9th in homers. Nyjer Morgan batting .309 when leading off an inning, but he's only hitting .238 over his last 7 games. So both defensively and with the bat, Nyjer's having a very difficult month of May so far. The Nats aren't getting enough guys on base to get the running game going. It's been 12 days since they stole a base. Maybe that changes with Morgan here, who did come off the bench with an opposite field double last night. There's Brad Ferguson, the Orioles' 24-year-old starter, 7-5 in 19 starts last year. 3rd time in his career he'll face the Nats. And Nyjer Morgan bunts the easiest of pop flies right to the catcher.
Take a look at our scouting report on Brad Ferguson, 24-year-old right-hander, back on track. Got hit by a line drive on the 30th of July, never pitched again. Hurt his arm in a commercial in December. Missed about 2 or 3 weeks of spring training. Was really out of kilter. Struggled. Sent him back to the minor leagues for about 11 days. It's about sink or swim because he's got to have that sinker going. And then he's now pitching like he did last year, where his 11 of his last 12 starts were quality in 2009. And I mean, he could, he's got a changeup, he's got a slider, and he's very difficult to run on because he's so quick to the plate. And then you got Wieters, who's leading the American League catchers in throwing out runners.
Well, and from the windup, if you've ever watched Danny Herron pitch, he's got that deliberate pause right there in the middle, and I do like that because then he's got an explosive fastball.
Yeah, for Brad, that's the way he kind of syncs up his windup.
Guzman with another base hit. Wow. Came in hitting .331. Only Andre Ethier and Ryan Braun in the National League are hitting better right now than Guzman. He's hitting .430 in the month of May with that base hit.
And there's the Orioles defense. Mobile outfield, Patterson, Jones, Markakis, Tejada learning to play third base. Asturis won a Gold Glove 2004 for the Dodgers. Wigington, Luke Scott, a hitter, playing first because of the interleague play, and Matt Wieters. And there is the now 24-year-old youngster, former #1 draft choice.
Missed yesterday because he fouled the ball off his knee.
And it was his birthday.
So you can't play on your birthday?
No.
I think you'd get like a birthday home run or something and hope for that.
Well, he could have.
You get to rest and your team wins the game.
Well, that is a bonus.
Ryan Zimmerman is trying to stay above 300 now. He's at 304. 0 for 3 with a pair of walks last night. Little Tapper looks like a base hit. And he beats it out. Tejada, as Jim said, learning to play third base, handled that ball pretty well.
Yeah, I don't even think Brooks Robinson would have caught that. Even Ryan Zimmerman. You just, sinker, you just get jammed a little bit. Swing over it. Nice play by Tejada.
Yep.
Made it close.
But he was back. He wasn't expecting a bunt from Zimmerman, a power right-handed guy, so he's 5 feet behind third base.
Has Zimmerman bunted this whole year?
I don't think so.
You know what? A couple of years ago, he was the best bunter on the team, but he doesn't do that anymore. Neither does this guy.
And I think you'd thank him after the game if he bunted on you, if you're out there on the mound. I definitely would. Hey, thanks.
Adam Dunn, first pitch swinging, and this ball will blow out of play. As mentioned, the flags are moving from right field foul ground out toward the left field corner. Jim remarked to us during the break that ball Matt Wieters hit would have been in the seats in Baltimore. We know that. A little cozier down the left field side there.
Yeah, the power alley there is 365 and
377 here.
And again, the wall's a little bit higher. The walls in Baltimore, at least in left field, are 7 feet tall. Seem to be probably, about 11, 12 in left field.
Adam Dunn just misses the first base bag with that one. Mike Winters in good position to make that call. And the count goes to 0-2. The Nats are suddenly attacking Ferguson early in the count.
I think Dan Radisson, our first base coach, thought that wrapped around first base. It's not where it lands, it's where it goes over the bag.
Well, that was a line drive that landed foul. Now Dunn has to protect on 0-2. And that ball's pretty well hit to right. Near the track is Markakis, and tagging and going to third is Christian Guzman. 2 on, 2 out.
All right,
it'll be up to Josh Willingham.
This is where, in this last 8-game stretch where we're 1-7, the Nats hitting 200 guys, runners in scoring position with 2 outs. So One of the things we were doing when we were winning a lot of ball games was getting the clutch 2-out hit.
Oh, this guy's over 300 on the season. Well, the Orioles are only hitting 224 on the year. And, of course, that's why the record is what it is.
Josh Willingham's only 3 for his last 18. He's been getting on base. Kind of odd for a guy to go 318 over 8 games. His on-base percentage during that time, 444. 4th in the league in that department. Pretty good first pitch breaking ball.
Yeah, looked like a strike. Not getting the edges.
The Nats are known as a ball club that works the count. This is a different looking team to me. They are attacking early in the at-bats.
Well, I would imagine their scouting report would have told them that Brad Ferguson is not going to get behind in the count that much. If he does, of course, he gets in trouble. He's only, maybe 2 walks a game.
So he's a good strike thrower.
Yeah, he really. And he's a sinker baller.
Well, and after facing David Hernandez yesterday, who was not, he was all over the place, and they were still over aggressive because they want to get out of this slump. And there you see Willingham on base percentage, fantastic. These guys want to win. One thing I respect about the Nats, they don't like losing this year. They're not comfortable with it.
3-1.
Well, I think also Brad Ferguson, he knows because you watch highlights. Even if you don't pitch in this league, you know this guy's a real good fastball hitter. He's a pull hitter. He wants the ball in the inside middle. And if you throw it there, and that's why sometimes you just, in the first inning, you can't command the ball where you want to.
Bases loaded as Willingham walks.
And if you don't get that pitch or you don't get that first slider, you get into these counts. And this guy with one swing can change the whole complexion of this game.
32 walks by Willingham this year.
The UPS store on this pitch track right there, and you see that sinker a little bit outside. And kind of tough to pitch, Jim, when you're not getting those corners.
Well, that's what he wants. I mean, I think most guys that throw 89 to 90, they want to throw enough strikes to get you a swing at balls, and Brad Ferguson certainly is one of those.
Here's Pudge Rodriguez hitting .331.
And he's also the best national hitter with runners in scoring position at almost 400, 382. Saying what happens, you start a guy off, like Ivan Rodriguez with that slider, now you know he is looking for your sinker. And if you sink it, you're fine. If you don't, he's going to have a good swing.
The other night, Jeff Francoeur at the end of the ball game hit a sacrifice line drive RBI. You could tell when you're late on a Livan Hernandez fastball at 86, you're looking for his slow curveball, and he fouled off about 3-4 pitches, got the 68-mile-an-hour curveball, and ripped a shot in the left field that was caught.
And another out with 2 outs and not moving any runners around for the Nats. Orioles are taking advantage. Washington is not. Baltimore 2-0. .org, the association for IT pros. And here's Debbie Taylor with our AFCIA sideline report.
Well, Bob, last night after the game, Scott Olsen had an MRI on his left shoulder. It did not show any structural damage, but it did show inflammation. He will miss his next start. And Olsen told me today that he'll take a few days just to rest his arm. Then he'll undergo some treatments. He is confident that he'll throw again soon. He described the feeling as a dull pain, not the shooting pain that he felt last year. He also said he'd rather miss a start now than in September or August. And then Jim Riggleman told me that because of the day off, they won't need a starter probably till about May 29th or 30th.
And that day off is coming right after this series on Monday. The Nationals will fly to San Francisco, play the Giants Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, next weekend in San Diego, and then on to Houston. And
as I said in the open, Bob, Steve McCatty noticed something 3 starts ago and told Jim Riggleman, we really got to watch this guy. We got to stay on top of him because, he's doing some things that made Steve uncomfortable. And they've been on top of this for the last 3 starts. So Scott Olsen should have been honest, should have said that he couldn't go yesterday and let somebody do an emergency start. Before you get behind 4-0 early in a ball game, you don't want to cost your team wins. You do want to go out there and help compete and help contribute to a winning season if you can, but you don't want to contribute to losses.
And that pitcher probably would have been Miguel Batista, who threw 4 scoreless innings last night. Got the Nationals' only hit in the first 5 innings of that game.
And the other day, we made this whole thing with the Mets. John Maine threw 5 pitches. They pulled him out, but they had a guy warming up in the bullpen. So, Dan Worthen knew just by the way his guy warmed up, talking to John Maine. John Maine was honest with him to the extent that, listen, I don't have my best stuff today. So they had Valdez up, and then Valdez came in and shut us down.
Adam Jones came into that at bat with a 10 for his last 30 during an 8-game hitting streak. He's retired. Cesar Izturis is next here with 1 out in the 2nd. Stammen gets ahead. Jim, what do you do when you continually have problems early in a ball game, first or second inning? Is there anything with your pregame routine that can alter that?
Well, I think there are a couple of things you can do. A lot of people warm up a little bit more, or they throw a little bit, and then they come back for the final warm-up. I think one of the best things to do is just have a guy stand at home plate. Try to simulate what's going to happen when you're in the game.
Well, you talked about tracking as a hitter.
Well, you want the hitter up there. It's going to help him, but it's going to help you. And you want a guy that stands on the left as a left-handed hitter. Our hitting instructor in Baltimore, Terry Crowley, is one of my teammates. We're breaking ball right here, and a good one. And it just phrase it, backdoor slider looked like, something like that.
Yeah, he's got a little cutter slider deal, and then he's got the big 12-6 hook that he's not throwing that much of lately.
But I think what you want to do, Bob, is to feel like when you go to the mound, you're ready to go. Because everything does change. The mound's a little bit different, and obviously, Craig has pitched very well here because it may be the same, but when you go on the road, it might not be. And they're supposed to be, but they're not always. So when you go out there, it counts. You can hang a breaking ball in the bullpen, or you can be ball 1, ball 2. But when the game starts, everything is for real. And it's not like doing a commercial where you go take 2 and take it over.
Yeah. And Ferguson, who's 1 for 5 career, had a couple of sacrifice bunts. Hank's tough at 0-2.
He was heading off the tee. He was doing all kinds of stuff, I told him, I said, the hitting was pretty good last year, but you didn't really pitch well here. I said, reverse those. And then Rick Kranitz came walking by. He said, just get them over.
Hey, our guy's hitting .330 this year.
Oh, I know. I checked that number out.
Yeah, and so are opposing hitters off of him.
It's a tough league out here.
Bouncing ball to Adam Dunn. It'll be a 1-2-3. The beauty of the National League, the pitcher at the bottom of the order. Kennedy, Bernardina, Stammen coming up. On Masson, brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. And by H.H. Gregg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg. Price and advice guaranteed. Breezy day, cloudy day. As if people didn't have enough to argue about as couples.
Well, he's got an O's hat on and a National shirt.
Well, and we do share something in common with our friends from Baltimore, and that's the great Frank Robinson. Unbelievable career. Frank hit .294, 586 homers, 6 years in Baltimore, 10 in Cincinnati. And, of course, he still has won the most games of any manager at the helm of the Nationals. 81 in 05, 71 in 06 before being let go. And he had won 83 games twice for this franchise while still in Montreal. Bottom of the second, Adam Kennedy. Call for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring absolutely free at 877-241-LUNA. Adam Kennedy, 4 for his last 18, hitting .252. Roger Bernardine is on deck, and he's 1 for his last 12. So the Mets pitchers and now the Orioles have kept the Nats bats quiet. And it was Colorado and St. Louis before that, starting a week ago today. 2-2.
And if you're Jim Riggleton, of course, what you want to do is you want to get as many lefties, because the number is 209 against right-hand batters and over 300 and 323 the lefties. So maybe you get one of your guys that are struggling some good at bats, some good pitches to hit, and it's up to them. You know, I talked to Adam, and of course I'd met him years ago when he was with the Angels, and we saw him last year in Oakland where he had a nice year. He certainly understands, you know, when Desmond as hot as he is and Guzman playing well, he said, listen, I'm not going to play, but I'll get my opportunities.
Kennedy gets jammed and fouls it on 2-2.
Might need some new wood. Sound like it broke.
Yeah, another little slider. Ferguson got away with a couple of pitches in the first inning, especially the last one to Ivan Rodriguez, hanging slider that he skied to center. He's got to be down to be successful. Of course, National fans are saying, no, we want him up. Get the ball up.
Kennedy jacks one down the line, and when you're not going well, those balls go foul. Ricochets into the bullpen. Kennedy's hit 2 home runs this year. And he's got that uppercut swing. He can hook a ball down the line in a hurry and turn on one, Jim, just about against anybody.
Well, we saw that. I mean, the one thing, you don't find too many high ball left-handed hitters. I mean, Nettles was one.
Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, exactly.
That one will be right to Wigginton. And another left-hander coming in, Roger Bernardino. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Miller Lite Party Night. They're getting started a little early at the Scoreboard Pavilion today. You get a pavilion seat drink voucher for $20. For prime games, $22. Make sure to come early. Pre-game happy hour at the Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar, featuring $5 beers. The next one will be on June 4th when the Nats come back from that long road trip and play the Cincinnati Reds.
So what's a prime game? Are we a prime game?
I would think interleague is. Orioles, probably Mets, Phillies, St. Louis, maybe the Dodgers when they were here. You know, there are some prime teams and some teams that aren't so prime.
You get to, well, I know. That's my point. I'm trying to get there. Well, you got the White Sox. They're coming to town. Kansas City. Is Ozzie Guillen prime?
No, I don't think Ozzie's a prime guy right now.
His quotes are prime.
The Dodgers were a prime game because there's a star next to them on the schedule. So Cincinnati is not a prime weekend. You can get a seat for $20. Bernardino hooks one into right field. Roger got the bat around that thing and got the sweet spot on it. A welcome base hit for him. Only his second hit last 13 at bats. And anytime you get that kind of speed on ahead of the pitcher in this league, that's a good thing. Stammen has 5 hits this year, but you would think he'd be bunting here.
I talked again about getting your guys. I mean, that's a ball that he had to go out and get, but it had enough of the plate
But maybe a little change up, down and away, and able to hit it into right field. And again, Ferguson, if you're thinking about stealing and then maybe having him, because you're not going to be, if he gets a second, you're not going to be giving up an out with one out, but it is difficult to steal on this tandem. Ferguson gets the ball very quickly to home plate. Not impossible, of course. And then Wieters throws well.
Stammen leans back, and the ball either tipped the bat or he moved the bat over the plate, and Jerry Lane called him for a strike.
I wanted to bring this up, too. I heard it. I don't know if it's true, but I heard it in one of the broadcasts watching Strasburg pitch that the Nationals had kind of slowed him up with runners on base from the stretch as to not lose velocity.
Great bunt.
Very nice sacrifice by Stammen. So did you feel that you were losing a little bit on your stuff when you did a slide step?
Well, yeah, but I think what you have to do is you have to show them you'll slide step. You just don't do it very much. But what you have to do, and again, this is, I mean, there's your vintage National League pitcher. You better be able to butt him over.
Oh, he's an excellent hitter.
Yeah.
He's an excellent hitter.
And he does that. And we had a play that cost us a game in Texas where Albers came in, didn't let Wieters handle the bunt, and they got the winning run. So Ferguson says, Matt, you can have it.
Nigel Morgan, who bunted into a foul out first time, flips this one out of play to the left.
But I think the point about the slide step is, and we had Greg Olson, you remember him, Rookie of the Year, great curveball and fastball. Well, you knew they were going to steal on him because he was slow to the plate. The slide step is not good unless you can speed up your arm, because you need to get your arm up and throw downhill. That's why they give you the pitching rubber. And for some guys, they can do that. And certainly you can do it as you get more experience.
Take a look at Ferguson from above.
But see, again, he's a sinker. And the reason he's so hard, I mean, there's hardly any leg kick at all, but he's able to load. And a lot of that has to do with the way you set up. You put a little more weight on your back leg, so you're already loaded.
He has beautiful balance, too.
Well,
not a lot of good pitchers have that great balance where he can kind of shift his weight and then just go home.
See, there's the load. And he can, to me, the interesting thing is, and I talked again, we mentioned Dave Schmidt last night, who, major league pitcher, the minor league guy. He taught Ferguson early on in his career, had him in, I think, 2005 to pitch in. So it just can't be away because your stuff's not that good. And, of course, the first lefty he tried to come in was a 3-run home run. And he said he didn't want to go to the mound.
0-2 to Morgan, who bounces it over to Luke Scott. Race to the bag. Out on a close play. And Bernardina had already rounded third base. You cannot pause one moment with Nigel Morgan running the bases. Looked like the first baseman got there. Top 2-0.
Take a look at Luke Scott. The reason he's playing first is because I can't DH here in the National League, so he's really deep, trying to keep the ball in front of him, and then it's a foot race. A little bit of inexperience, but again, I don't know if Ferguson's going to beat Morgan because he's that fast, and here's your dash. So the Orioles just Bet Niger Morgan.
Great hustle by Niger, though.
Oh.
That was one time where you have to dive for the bag.
And he makes a routine play anything but because of his hustle. Ooh. Get the hand down.
Yeah, it looks, if he's got his fingers into the bag. But you know what?
Yeah, but he broke that hand.
He broke that hand sliding first into third base in Chicago.
He's fine.
He's no Michael Phelps, is he?
Right. We can't afford to have him get hurt. I thought Jim Riggleman, I just did an interview downstairs with him before the game, and he said one of the reasons, someone asked him, why are you so patient with some of the guys when they're struggling? As Patterson grounds out the first. And he said because of some of his struggles when he was in the minor leagues, and he played for an awful long time in the minor leagues before he got into coaching, he said that he understands from a little spot in his heart that these guys are going to struggle, they're going to have their struggles, and so he kind of feels for them. So that's why he knows eventually some of these guys, or most of them, are going to come out of a slump or start playing better eventually, so he's not down on them immediately.
Is that why many managers who are really good weren't that great of players? Because they understand that? They say the greatest players never make the best manager.
Well, you're right. I mean, Earl Weaver, never played higher in AA ball, which we reminded of him all the time.
Tommy Lasorda had a cup of coffee in the big leagues.
Tony La Russa, the same thing.
Yeah. But I think what happens is such a fine line between trying to win and then also make them think that every time they play, they have to be perfect. They have to get free hits. And, I mean, that's why the good managers are the good managers. They understand that. It's a tough game.
Nick Markakis singled up the middle first time to get the Orioles' 2-run first-inning rally started.
If this was an easy game, everybody would be playing. And everybody would be playing at a very high level. I mean, there's so many factors. It's the physical, the emotional, the mental, the focus. Because, Rob, you've seen guys that are great in the bullpen when you're pitching, and then the game starts and they squeeze the ball. Hitters in batting practice, at 5 o'clock, they're the best hitters you've ever seen. Then the game starts, big fog bank between the on-deck circle and home plate.
Another ball ripped by Markakis. Off the glove of Christian Guzman. Markakis 2 for 2. Let's check in with Ember.
Well, Miguel Tejada and Pudge Rodriguez are not only friends, they're workout partners. They live at their homes in Fort Lauderdale in the off-season, and they train every day down there. Last year, when they were teammates in Houston, they would travel together and shared a personal trainer. Well, when they went different ways in the off-season, there was a big debate. Who was going to get Edgar the personal trainer? Well, Pudge won that battle since he had been with him longer, but it all worked out. Miguel took one of Edgar's proteges up to Baltimore with him, so every day in the hotels on the road, he gets his workout in, and Miguel told me that being on the back end of his career, he isn't turning 36 this week, that it does help him prevent injuries, nagging injuries. It just keeps him loose during the season. So Pudge and Miguel, not spring chickens, but they're doing something about it, Bob.
Well said, Amber, and you can look at both of them, how they're put together and how they're playing on almost an everyday basis this stage of their career, and it's been remarkable. Rob's told us several times about things he's seen down underneath from Pudge Rodriguez, hardest working guy on the team before and after the game.
And Mike Rizzo just saw him. He had been messing around with the first baseman's been on the road trip, and Mike Rizzo kiddingly said, hey, don't give me any ideas. And he said, oh, no, I want to play another 5 years behind the plate. So, I mean, and the way he is in shape, I don't see why he can't play another 5 years behind home plate.
Well, all you want to do is put yourself in the physical position to do it, and then you'll just see how it goes. But if you don't,
you have no shot.
Nope, exactly, no chance at all. And I work out a lot, and every time I'm in the hotel gym on the road, there is Miguel about 10:30. So you get into a routine, and you have to have that routine as you get older.
And Jim Riggleman says the same thing about Pudge.
Yep.
Every time he goes, because Jim Riggleman runs, I think, 5 to 10 miles a day, and he hits that treadmill, Pudge is already in the weight room ahead of him. And you have to have that kind of due diligence. I mean, the guys that had longevity, especially the catchers, Carlton Fisk was a guy that legendary for working out an hour, 2 hours after every game. Some guys do it at different times. Nolan Ryan, another guy, pitched into his mid-40s. I mean, he would work out 2 hours for every hour he was on a baseball field. Maybe I should have done that.
How old are you?
46. But I retired at 30.
Well, you hurt your shoulder.
Yeah, I had a bad shoulder. But you tried to come back, what, at 45?
Yeah. What? Some people called it a comeback.
No, but you had to be physically.
Well, I was.
You know, your arm didn't hurt, did it?
No. I just actually hurt my hamstring. And, I'd hurt it playing tennis and then aggravated it, trying to make the Orioles in 1991.
That ball hit hard, but right to Guzman. Kennedy will turn to 6 for a 3 double play, and the Orioles are gone in the top of the third. But they lead by 2. Jim Hunter on the way, 2-0 Baltimore.
And Rob Dibble, and let's see, either we were ingenious on the open or trends tend to follow each other because the Orioles got the 2-out hit, the Nationals didn't, and the Orioles have the lead.
That's right, and now that Rob Dibble, but Bob Carpenter's left, that means the Orioles won't score until he comes back. That's what happened last night.
Well, and also your guy Ferguson's making some good pitches. I like, sinker ball guys that know I got to keep not just the fastball sinker down. He's keeping his breaking stuff and changeups low too.
Yeah, I got away with a couple of pitches in the first, and then again it's only the third inning, and one of the hot guys is started. He elevated the ball to him, and Guzman didn't miss it, singling into right field.
Ferguson has allowed 3 hits. He has walked a batter, but all 4 of those batters left stranded as he looks for his 4th win on the year. That ball, ground ball towards second. Wiggins then has to backhand turn and throw, and he just did get it. It is so impressive to watch these Nationals run out ground balls. They sprint 90 feet every single play.
Well, and speed until maybe the last 2 weeks was our game. And, you run into some catchers like Yadier Molina and Miguel Olivo, and they start throwing out everybody. And I would think Jim Riggleman and all the coaches down there, they don't want our guys to stop running. So they have great speed. They hustle all the time, and that's something that's changed under Jim Riggleman and his staff, is that he just puts it in their head. You force the defense to make good plays by hustling.
It's the one thing you can bring to the ballpark every day.
Yes.
Ball 1 to Ryan Zimmerman inside, who reached on an infield at his first at-bat, which was nothing more than a swinging bunt, but it was perfectly placed. Tejada made a nice play, but Zimmerman hustled and legged it out. 1-1 the count. If Ferguson wins, it would be his 4th, and it would be the Orioles' 9th win from starters this year. Their 8 wins are the fewest in the major leagues. The Astros have the fewest in the National League, but they have 9, 1 more. This one sliced down the right field line. That is a foul ball.
And of course, that doesn't tell you the whole story, beginning because of the lack of offense. And there have been a lot of games where either Millwood, maybe not so much Ferguson, because he's gotten some run support. Mattis over his last 4 starts. David Hernandez until last night hadn't got 1.46 runs per game. So they pitched well enough to win. And then, of course, if you don't score runs, and the Orioles have given up a lot of runs from the 8th inning on, it really puts pressure on your bullpen at the end of the game.
And those 9th inning blown saves would have been starter wins.
The starting staff this year so far has been a lot better. than they were last year.
Do you think a lot of it has to do with Matt Wieters having them from spring training on?
Well, that, and then I think there's an emphasis on also that they were going to be asked and given the permission to pitch deeper into the game. That just wasn't going to be 5 1/3. Try to get into the 7th inning or get into the 7th inning, and then our bullpen will come. And Dave Tremblay certainly would like to mix and match. The fact that Mike Gonzalez, who was going to be their closer, has been on the disabled list all year, hasn't certainly helped his bullpen.
Well, your thoughts on the formula of 6th, 7th inning, let's start going to our bullpen.
Well, again, you'd like to get deeper if you can so you can match up. And, they have Will Ullman. We saw him last night. Roberto Castillo's been up and down a couple of times, but he's struggled.
But, I mean, you brought it up before. You had a 9-man pitching staff. Now you have 13 men pitching staffs. I mean, it takes people off your bench. You think that you have maybe better pitchers in your bullpen than you really do. So you're going to take one of your best 5 starters out, and in your case, one of your best 4 starters out, and put out the 5th or the 4th guy of your bullpen. I don't understand that reasoning.
Well, that's just modern-day baseball. That's why the deeper staffs can do that and have a little bit more good fortune.
2-2 to Zimmerman is down and away, ball 3. So Zimmerman, who is sitting on 99 career home runs, works the count full of 3-2. Ferguson has allowed 6 home runs on the year. However, he has been keeping the ball in the ballpark. 0 home runs over his last 3 starts, as that sinker has returned. This ball's lined towards left center field. Patterson over has to play it on a hop. And a base hit for Ryan Zimmerman, who is 2 out of 2, which means you bring Adam Dunn to the plate as the potential tying run. And these two have a history. Let's go back to May 24th last year.
Well, Adam Dunn gets that sinker. It's up in the zone, and he just uses his brute strength to hit it out, way out in right center field, which is not an easy part of the ballpark to go deep. And then another one away, and that's when he's swinging the bat really well, guys, when he extends his arms, takes that strength and pushes it the other way. A lot of times he takes those pitches. The one thing about his high on-base percentages and the 100-plus walks a year, I know management and the coaches would like him to chase a few more of those pitches that are borderline right there.
That second one off Jamie Walker, so Ferguson no decision that day. Yes,
he did get a hit.
Not held. Yes, he did.
He got the hit, but well, it's interesting. When I was talking to him today, he said, we were just talking to Zimmerman and Dunn at the cage. He said, I would, and I have. He said, I used to take a lot of first pitches. He said, I'm trying to be more aggressive early. And the theory being, maybe that's going to be the best pitch I get to hit. Because I would be pitching him pretty careful because of his...
Popped him up. Foul. Wieters back. Won't have a play.
But explain it. How would you're a Hall of Famer, but you got a big hammer like that coming up.
Well, we talked about it. He said, how would you pitch me? I said, I would put my right fielder in right center field, my center fielder in left center, my left fielder, pretty straight away, and pitch you away.
I say that almost every broadcast about our pitchers.
And see how you cover the outside corner.
Yep.
And if you cover it, it's an information pitch. Right. And I hope if the ball is down or right on the corner that he won't hit it out of the ballpark. But we know he's certainly capable of doing that.
I mean, I think it was just the way both of us were taught. You throw a certain pitch until the guy shows you he can hit that pitch. Then you move on to B, C, and D. You don't go right to C the first time you meet somebody. You say, okay, my best pitch is whatever. Now I'm going to challenge you away with that. And if you can hit that away, okay, then I've got to change my strategy against you. But I've watched so many young guys, Jim, immediately go into the changeup first pitch because they're nervous Adam might get it, or even a power hitter on the road. We'll say like Albert Pujols. And now you fall behind 1-0, 2-0, and you're beating yourself by pitching that way.
2-2 the count, holding on Adam Dunn with Zimmerman on at first and 1 down. Ferguson protecting a 2-0 lead. And again, swept foul. So Dunn keeps spoiling good pitches.
Back-to-back changeups, trying to get him to roll over. And he did, except he hit a foul. And we talked about that last night, the frustration, for Adam Dunn. He's saying, well, I just fouled off 2 really good pitchers pitches. And for the pitcher, you're saying, boy, I would have liked to have him put that one in play because I got him out on that front foot. And that's what the changeup, if it's properly thrown, will do.
Another 2-2 pitches pulled down the line, but fouled out. Wow, that ball was crushed.
Well, he just did a hanging slider that he didn't quite get in. See, Ferguson's better when he can make you dance a little bit.
UPS store here on the pitch track, dead central on the track, and it was hit like a dead center pack. Pitch track is packaged by the UPS store. We do a lot more than shipping, like offering moving boxes and supplies.
And he got him. So Ferguson comes back and strikes out Adam Dunn. His first strikeout. It's a big one for the second out.
Well, slow, not quite as slow, and then firm at 91 up in the zone. I mean, that was the perfect pitch.
Yep.
And you had one more pitch to do it because the count's 2-2.
Well, we go against these guys a lot for not making pitches. That is making a pitch. H.H. Gregg there on the Exmo. And, you know, if you try and locate a pitch and it works, then you know, listen, my stuff got you out. And, you know, just like we were talking about before, he threw a sinker and it got hit by Burnett. Ooh.
This ball's hit deep to left field. Back it goes, and it will get out of here. There's a 2-run home run by Willingham, and the game is tied at 2.
Laying down the smack-em yack'em, the hammer.
Home run number 7 for Willingham. Breaks out of a 3 for 13 in a big way.
I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to say it was a sinker down and in.
I think it's belt high, and it's the middle of the plate, and it never lands.
He loves fastballs inside. He's got really quick hands. He just drops the head of the bat.
Yeah.
Well, body language tells you what Ferguson thought of that pitch after it left.
Well, if you were in the Oriole bullpen, you might have wanted to catch it so you could throw it back on the field. But that ball zoomed over it. I mean, that's a long, long way. Well, what did he say to the Caves today? I'm a pull hitter. I hit maybe one home run to right field, maybe right center all year long, and you saw why.
Well, and it looks like Pudge may have hurt himself on the swing.
Jim Riggleman is coming out, concerned.
Yeah, you don't want your most important defensive player and your guy hitting 331 coming in the game getting hurt.
Players, yeah.
Will Nieves is the backup catcher for the
How
Nats.
about Brad Penny?
Yep.
Grand slam
and hurt his back.
Yep. And he had to come out. Now he's on the disabled list. And here's the last swing. It's another sinker, a good one.
And normally, don't you think that's kind of would most likely, and we're only guessing, the oblique. You know, the rib cage muscles.
Well, I heard you guys talking. Maybe he works out too much.
No,
I don't think so.
No, but he is tough as nails. He took a shot down in Florida. Cody Ross went shin to his knee, and he missed one game. And there you see big swing and miss. And you see the grimace right after that. So I would agree. I would say it's probably a rib cage or an oblique or something that has to do with pulling those hips through.
Or maybe it's just a big deke.
0-1 on Rodriguez. Tie game now. Down and away. Ferguson misses. A ball and a strike.
So he's like pulling an Earl Campbell on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a piece of readers on the foul ball. What Pudge Rodriguez is hoping to do is spend the entire season with one team. 2 years ago, he was with the Tigers. They traded him to the Yankees. Then he didn't re-sign there. He went to the Astros, and then they traded him to Texas.
He signed a 2-year deal here, so he wants to stay here for a while.
Bounce towards Ty Wigginton, who backs up to play the hop. And gets him out at first base. That's dangerous backing up. So the inning is over, but the 2-run home run ties it. We'll head to the fourth in a 2-2 game. 2-out, 2-run single by Ty Wigginton. Then the Nats come right back with a 2-out, 2-run home run by Josh Willingham in the third inning.
Couple of hits off Stammen, Markakis, Tejada, and then a 2-out Ty Wigginton single. And 2-0 for a few innings, and then the hammer lays it down over the bullpen, that sinker that didn't sink, so we're all even. Got a new game. And Pudge Rodriguez is now out of the game. Will Nieves is now catching.
Yeah, I think that's why he threw his helmet. Obviously, he doesn't like to ground out to second, but he knew that something was going on.
Yeah, he hurt himself on this swing right here. Would stay in and finish the at-bat and hit a ground ball to second base, but we will put Debbie and Amber on the case and see who can come up with it. Get the scoop first.
I like this interleague competition.
Well, since Debbie is in their dugout, I'm going with Debbie.
Well, she does have a good
by
spot
the way,
down there.
Jim, by the way, Pudge, any reason he left?
Well, she
got three
Jims.
Jims. Jim Riggleman, Hunter, Palmer. Just too many Jims around here.
Well, here's a Luke. Luke Scott leads off, and he takes a strike on the inner part of the plate. Luke was robbed of a base hit his first at-bat. Nice diving catch by Adam Kennedy at second base. Bouncer past the mound towards the middle. The glove of the pitcher hit it, and no throw back to first. That'll be a base hit. That probably would have gone through anyway, but Craig Stammen got his glove on it, and it slowed it down.
It's a good fielding pitcher, but like you said, sometimes it's a mistake to get your glove in front of it if you know you can't catch it.
Yeah, I think he would probably say this ball should have been caught, and the reason it should have been caught, it's right to the glove. It's on your glove side. If it's another foot and a half to the right, you have to reach across your body. Watch this. You become a fielder. Boom. Off the glove. You know, again, we talked about it. Firm field here. Well, maybe a little top spin. Got there a little bit quicker.
Did you win some gold gloves?
4. Wow.
Where you got them?
Well, I auctioned one for cystic fibrosis. I gave it to my dad, and they got about $11,000 because that was a nice cut. And I don't know, one's in my house and 3 are in some boxes. But just think if you were Brooks Robinson with 16, where do you keep all those?
Or Greg Maddux, didn't he have like 19?
Something like that. Brooksy, why do you have those gold gloves in the trunk?
Balances the car out.
Well, that's true, you know. Put one on your front hood.
Luke Scott with a base hit extends his hitting streak to 7 in a row, and he is an unconscious 13 for his last 24. Meantime, Wigginton, who gave the Orioles the lead with a clutch base hit his first at-bat, takes low, 2-0. Readers waiting on deck, back in the lineup today.
Such a huge difference, though, getting the first guy out. You know, a ball, you make a good pitch, and the one thing about Craig Stammen this afternoon, he's settled down, and that's such a game of adjustment. Up in the first inning, been down, using the curveball, as you mentioned. It's one of his best pitches.
Stammen deals, and Wigginton swings through it. 1 win on the year for Craig Stammen. He is winless in his last 5 starts, 0-2 and 3 no decisions. But his last start was Monday at St. Louis, and he did take the loss.
Well, and it's those early runs.
Yeah.
And 2 more today.
There were like 4 in the first inning that afternoon?
Yep. And 19 before the third inning out of his 32. So he's given up 32 on the season, and he's given up 19 in the first couple of innings. So that's something that he's really got to work on. Is you know, because I've always felt the first inning, 5th inning, and 9th inning are the toughest innings in a ball game. And you know, if you get off to a bad start or you have a bad warm up, you still have to go out there and try to get those first 3 outs.
You guys played the game a long time. Did you think that Luke Scott's ball was a base hit?
No.
Okay. Stammen flips to first. Wigginton will advance the runner. Well, the official scorer agrees because that has been ruled an error. It's not a hit. The Orioles, meantime, will host the Red Sox, Yankees, and the Mets in a big 9-game homestand. All begins on June the 4th, so don't miss a week of rivals, interleague action, and tons of great giveaways and promotions. As the Orioles will be back home for a 3-team homestand. All the details, 888-848-BIRD, or online at Orioles.com.
But also, in fairness to Craig Stammen, the scorer has never been 54 feet after you release the ball and had to catch a ground ball up the middle. And I don't mean that. I mean, it sounds like it's
well, he probably also thought it was hit harder. One of the tougher plays for pitchers when you think it's a smash up the middle and you go to reach for it and it's not there because it wasn't hit that hard. So he actually made a really good pitch.
Matt Wieters now. High fly ball center field. Niger Morgan backs up a few steps. Luke Scott will tag to draw a throw, and he's going to go on to third base, and he's going to make it. So let's take a look at the Luke Scott ball put in play, and we'll be the judge.
Yeah, it's firmly hit, but I think what the scorer is looking at is it was the glove side.
And he was in position to field it.
Exactly, and that's part of being a good fielding pitcher, as you mentioned.
It's a tough error. It's like the throwing error on Zimmerman yesterday. You know, the guy makes a fantastic play, bare hands it, and they give him an error to boot. Probably never would even have made the play if he wasn't a Gold Glove third baseman.
Well, 2 down, Scott to third. He's moved up 90 feet each of the last 2 at-bats, and Adam Jones trying to surprise the Nats with a 2-out bunt, but he fouled it off.
Well, he's done that on a number of occasions, and it's a smart play because the fact that there's a runner at third, and because it's a run if you get it down, and he's done that. I would imagine Ryan Zimmerman will now, because he did it with only no and 0 count, will have to play in for at least another strike.
Well, and that's playing the game the right way.
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, there's 2 outs, but if all I have to do is reach first base and that guy's going to score, I have to just try to get on any way I can.
And Stammen stays from the stretch, and Adam hits it high to center field, pretty deep. Niger Morgan back near the wall. He reaches up. He can't make the play, and he fires his glove towards the ground. 1 run is in. Adam Jones may have an inside the park home run. He's being sent. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe at the plate, and inside the park home run for Adam Jones. And the Orioles now have a 4-2 lead. Juan Samuel read it all the way, never hesitated to send it. And Niger Morgan, upset at not catching it instead of going after the ball, may have cost his team a run. The only thing I can think of is maybe he thought it went over the fence.
Well, once again, though, you can't make that assumption. You have to play it and see if it was still on the field. And right there, he might have thought it went over, but his...
Yeah, I think really does think it,
no, he throws a temper tantrum, and it does cost 2 more bases and an in-the-park home run.
Torres bounces to first. That ends the inning, but the Orioles get the lead back, 4-2.
Home run by Adam Jones, back-to-back nights, legitimate home run last night. And I'll tell you, Rob, I've never seen this, 45 years in baseball. And I got to think he thinks the ball went over the fence.
Well, he makes a great play on it, but then the walking away from it is just, I can't describe it. I've never seen it on a field. And You know, Adam Jones never stopped, and I give him credit for hustling all the way around the bases, but he misplayed a ball the other day into in the park home run by Angel Pagan of the Mets, where it came off that Geico angle, and you should know it's your home ballpark and that the ball might come off. And then Josh Willingham had to come over and pick the ball up, and by then Pagan scored. So you can never assume that the play is over. And right there, he assumes it went over the wall because it's not in his glove, and it was a two-base error, basically.
Well, I think he's going to get a triple, but it certainly is a run. And it's a huge
exactly,
run.
and it's once again, that's, you know, you got to always be thinking, what if this happens, what if that happens? That's part of the game, a contingency plan.
Out of Kennedy to center field, easy play for Adam Jones, who just got his sprints in for the day. And let's give an assist there to Juan Samuel. He sent them, and he didn't hesitate. As Adam Jones hit second base, he was telling him, come on, come on, come on. Nicely done.
It also helps to have a guy that can really run. And Adam yesterday with the leg cramps, obviously they've gotten better.
Roger Bernardina now. Now, Rob Dibble, when you interviewed Nyjer Morgan and Adam Jones, did you ask them which one is faster?
We actually showed a triple, and I would say that Nyjer's a little quicker, maybe a little faster, but I think the height of Adam Jones in a distance race, maybe he would have Nyjer in 100, but they're both extremely fast.
I asked Adam just last week, I said, do you ever run track the way you can run? He said, nah.
But I just find it amazing that he's a shortstop first. Right. And he played behind Mike Morse, who's on our squad, and he's our, you know, utility player, can play infield, outfield, etc. But, you know, now he's roaming center field, and he's made an all-star team as a center fielder. So
and
got to be a heck of an athlete.
In high school, he was also a very good wide receiver.
He said basketball, football. I asked him that question. It wasn't on the air. We didn't have time, but
bounce to Luke Scott at first. Uh-oh, tough hop. And the flip to Ferguson to get Bernardina. That hit the lip of the grass, and Luke had to grab it. So 2 men now. Let's get a look at the AT&T trivia question of the day to see if we can be stumped. The crack committee's not working this weekend. So
no, but we got it right last night.
1966 World Series. Jim Palmer should get this easy. Frank Robinson hit 2 home runs off which pitcher?
Well, first of all, did anybody hit home runs, 2 home runs off in a 4-game series off of Sandy Koufax? Not too often. So we can eliminate him.
Well, you were there, so this is all you.
Well, and I know who it is. Phil Regan was 14-1 that year. They called him a vulture. You know, he'd vulture down on all these wins, or 13-1, something like that. It's Don Drysdale. Double D. Game 1.
Roger Morgan on deck with Craig Stammen up.
And then game 4.
You really do have a good memory.
Well, I was there. Thank God you told me that I was there.
But I didn't want to bring this up. You brought it up to me. It's your 40th anniversary from winning the World Series.
Well, that's the 70. This was even farther back.
Well, I know that. I know you were in the big leagues back in the 60s, but
hey, he's been around so long. He was in ball before the draft. Think about that.
Well,
and he looks great.
I'm like Elton John.
It's my 20-year anniversary for us.
Yeah, we were talking walking down.
And actually, I was doing a radio interview before the game, and Hal McRae came on. It's the 25-year anniversary of the Royals winning the World Series. So a lot of anniversaries this year.
3-1 on Stammen.
Yeah, those are good things.
Absolutely. That's one day I said when we won. Can never take it away from me now.
Now, does Craig Stammen have home run power?
I've seen him hitting batting practice. He definitely has home run potential.
This one's hit to left field, and very well over Patterson's head and against the base of the wall. Stammen is trying for 2, and he will make it. The throw is off the bat.
Well, I saw that 3-2 count, and my first manager was Hank Bauer, and Hank Bauer, you know, platoon guy for the Yankees, 5 straight World Championships. He let pitchers hit 2-0 and things like that because he was a fastball hitter, and you knew he was going to get a fastball 3-2. Does he ever hit it?
Yep, he's a very, very good, solid athlete. Built like a tight end. And as you predicted, and Nyjer Morgan taking a lot of boos here from the home fans.
Takes ball 1 outside. Well, he could win them back with a big hit here with 2 down as Ferguson fell behind the pitcher 3-0 and couldn't put him away.
Well, that one recurring number, that 200 number the last week, the Nationals have been struggling with runners in scoring position.
And he does get a base hit. Markakis charging in, and Pat Listash will not challenge the arm of Nick Markakis. So Morgan wins back some of the fans with a base hit, but the Nats still can't get a run in.
Yeah, but you do get one of your hottest hitters into the plate, and that's huge. And it all started by getting behind the pitcher. And you talk about the difficulty if you're a pitcher in the American League coming over here with the bunting and the hitting. But the other thing is focus if you're young. You don't realize that sometimes that the pitcher, they can hit, and you can't relax with them. And if you do, you get into these situations. It all started with 2 outs.
2 outs and nobody on, and a 3-0 count on the pitcher as Rick Kranitz gets out there to visit Brad Ferguson.
Did you like it when the pitching coach came out?
I didn't have a problem with that.
I was never a fan. Well, I knew I had screwed up. I didn't need someone to remind me. Yeah, if my catcher came out, we'd discuss it, and he knew me well enough to know that I was already on fire. I didn't need someone else to come out there and add to it.
Well, see, my other alternative was Earl Weaver, so I always wanted to see the pitching coach come out. I didn't like it when Earl came out, unless he really had something for me, which I can't recall ever happening.
So here is Guzman, runners on the corners and 2 men down, a 4-2 game. The Nats are trying to get right back at Ferguson after the Adam Jones inside the park home run gave the Orioles the lead.
Well, we talked about it again. Either he's going to be taking an early shower or a swim if he doesn't sink the ball. And when he's up, he's not effective. That's pretty effective right there. Yep.
You know, I often talk about, especially with our younger pitchers, how important it is when your team gets you the lead again, 2 runs, to put a 0 up there in the bottom half of that inning, or the next time you face the other team. So right there, good breaking ball by Ferguson.
0-1 on the switch hitter. Guzman, runner goes, swinging a ground ball, and a base hit into left field on the hit and run. Perfectly placed by Guzman, and the Nationals get a run back and another 2-out base hit. What back control by Christian Guzman as Cesar Asturias broke to cover the bag. He hit it right past him.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I am a huge fan of Christian since coming over here to this organization last year. The guy he's a pure hitter. And he notices that it's going to be a sinker away. And Jim, you talked about this before, whether it was he threw a first pitch breaking ball to him the last time, and then the next pitch was a sinker. And he's such a smart veteran hitter. He knew sinker. I'm going to go with it. I think it's just kind of luck that the shortstop was covering second base there, but it worked out perfectly.
Ryan Zimmerman now. And there's a pitch on the inner part of the plate for a strike. And by not retiring the pitcher, which would have given Ferguson a 3-up, 3-down inning, he now has allowed the lineup to turn over and get into the dangerous part of the Nationals lineup. Morgan made it all the way to third on that single, so first and third and 2 down. Ball towards shortstop as Torres has it, and a flip to Wiggin to the fourth. Inning is over. Nats get 1 back. They strand 2. We'll head to the 5th in a 4-3 game. 4-3 lead, another close game, and a big Matt Wieters fan. And we believe Dan Radisson, the first base coach, has been ejected. He may have been looking for a balk call.
Well, it was the first pitch to Zimmerman, and Christian Guzman and Dan Radisson were both hollering about that was a possible balk.
Yeah, see, I mean, he has a hesitation, but I didn't see anything. He did balk in his last game, and that was a 4-3 loss. And so there's no balks in any of these. And of course, this is over the course of the game. But in the Kansas City game on Tuesday night, he rocked forward and then stopped.
Now, was he in the lock position?
No.
Already come set?
No, he had started his windup, but then really didn't continue to go on, and that is an obvious balk.
Right, you can't deceive the hitter.
And that one cost him a run because there was a runner on third base.
I just don't like the whole he's wide open, and I understand why. He's looking at the guy at first. So with a man on first, he's wide open. He's got his hips open towards first base. But if you start rocking forward, you can't make your start motion and then stop.
And meantime, Brad Ferguson gets a base hit. The Nationals can't get him out.
Well, they got him out last time, but but you know what? He's a good athlete. It's fine. Well, I don't want to have them think he's 2 for 2. He's 1 for 2, which is good.
He has a 2-game hitting streak in this ballpark.
Thank you. Well said. I understand that was not a literal. It was more a figurative.
Yeah, I was trying to pump up the guy, you know. Meantime, here's Corey Patterson.
He did put a nice swing on a breaking ball right to his bat.
Now, here's one of those situations that the Orioles don't see very often, as you have the number 9 hitter get up. Steve McCaddy.
No, he cannot be happy. I mean, obviously you gave up the 2 runs. We just got to run back, so it's a 4-3 ball game. And then the pitcher comes up, you give up a base hit. And Stammen just at times, and I don't know if it's a focus thing. Sometimes I think that these guys, and Jim, we've talked about it on and off the air since last 2 days. It's a difference between thinking pitching and just saying I have 4 pitches, I must throw them all towards home plate.
Double play ball. Guzman will step on the bag and get it to first. And it's tough to double up Corey Patterson, but that was hit right at Guzman towards the bag, and 2 men down. Well, you can join Brad Ferguson, Kevin Millwood, and Luke Scott at the 2nd annual Orioles Cook-Off. It comes your way at Baltimore's ESPN Zone next Wednesday, 11:30 until 1. And fans who donate $5 or 3 canned goods to the Maryland Food Bank will receive an autographed player card. So come see which of the Orioles has what it takes. Will it be Brad Ferguson's Simple Salmon, Kevin Millwood's Chicken Enchiladas, or Luke Scott's Surf and Turf? For more details, OriolesReach.com. I believe Jim Palmer is going to come and check out the food as well and maybe be a quasi-judge.
I never told you why I don't cook. I once tried to light my grill back when I was playing with the Reds, and it exploded.
Oh,
so
I don't blame you.
My own fault, though. You know how it rains a lot in Cincinnati in the summer. I had turned the gas on. The igniter wouldn't light. So I went inside to grab a match, walk outside. Now it was open, so I figured, okay, the gas is still on, but it's wide open and open air. I go to light the match, and I was about 10 feet from it, and it just engulfed me in a blue flame.
Wow.
Needless to say that I've never gone near my grill again.
Now you get out that directory with the restaurant.
No, my wife's a great cook.
Oh, we always talk about having people. Rob, you obviously
need some people.
Yeah, definitely.
Jim's got people.
We all want people. You need people.
Markakis takes a pitch high.
I'm hazardous.
Plus, grill lighting 101. I mean, it's something we do in the off season down in Florida.
I'll come down.
Got to come
golf a little bit. Teach me about grilling.
You push a button and it lights.
But that's what I'm saying. The igniter was wet, so it wasn't lighting.
Okay.
And so I walked in to get a match, left it on, struck the match way away from the grill. Wasn't standing over the grill.
I think if we're all going to dine together, we better provide the food. I'm just throwing it out.
I'll get the food you guys can get.
We better cook the food.
3-2 on Markakis with 2 down and the bases empty. As Stammen got that double play ball. And Markakis slices it foul. Let's head downstairs. An update. Here's Debbie.
All right, Jim, I understand that Pudge Rodriguez has left the game with a lower back injury, and this is something that has bothered him all season long, and he is listed as day-to-day.
All right, Debbie, thanks very much. So a lower back injury.
The lice right now, he's icy.
3-2 to Markakis. Ground ball towards the hole. Oh, what a play by Zimmerman. Drops it, picks it up, throws.
Got it.
Yes! First base. on the scoop by Adam Dunn. So nicely done on each end, taking a base hit away from Nick Markakis. So Willingham helps his pitcher out, or Zimmerman helps his pitcher out, and Dunn on the back end.
And oddities this past week here at Nationals Park. The Mets were here earlier. Levon Hernandez serves one up to Angel Pagani, hits it deep, and it's going to come off of that little curvature or angle. Center field goes over Nigel Morgan's head. The hammer picks it up, throws it into Desmond, but Pagan has just fantastic speed today. Just Adam Jones had a home run deep to right center, hits another one deep. It hits off the glove of Nigel Morgan. He goes to throw the glove down. The hammer picks it up, and once again, great speed. Adam Jones, an easy in the park home run. 2 in a week.
Doesn't happen very often, does it?
No.
And each time Nigel Morgan in center field, the first one caromed away from him. That one, he thought it went over the wall, and he just let it sit there.
And our crack staff down in the Masson truck right now are actually looking it up.
Wasn't there a triple play in the same game?
Pagan started the triple play in the same game. Yes, but we still did win that game. That was odd.
1-1 on Adam Dunn. Orioles have the overemphasized shift on against Adam Dunn. He's going to hit it down the left field line. They'll say, okay, fine, but we're playing him the pull. As you see, Ty Wigginton's out there in shallow right field, and Asturias on the say, hey, Miguel Tejada back at shortstop.
Yeah, that'll be a moot point if he keeps throwing the ball up in the zone, because Dunn will not. He'll do what he did last year. Down, but for a strike.
Well, we see this shift all the time against Adam, and a lot of teams leave their shortstop at home, and the third baseman will go to where Asturias is on the second base side. You know, you figure the guy's going to make the, but obviously Tejada's got a tremendous arm to play shortstop or third. But when Hanley Ramirez and Jorge Cantu goes over to the second base position to make the shorter throw.
Well, he came up as a second baseman with Tampa Bay, so maybe just a little bit more comfortable.
Oh man, could that guy drive in some runs? Yeah. He's tremendous.
He actually got hurt against the Orioles, and there's a high fly ball to right field. Did he get it all? No. Nick Markakis has it, and finally comes down, one man down. Well, last time up, Josh Willingham got one of those sinkers that didn't sink.
Well, you see how quick he is to the ball on the inner half. Anything from center cut to inner half, and he's just deadly. And this year, starting every day, knowing he's going to get 500, 600 at-bats, he doesn't press the outside pitch that often. Thus, a lot of walks, and the on-base percentage has skyrocketed.
He began the day leading the National League in walks, and he already has one in this game. And there's a breaking ball for a strike 0-1.
He kind of compared himself to Jeff Conine, who we had for 3 tours of duty.
And last year, I played with Niner.
Right, but what he said was, my arms are short, which is why I like the ball in the inside half. I mean, it does make sense.
He's built like a dock worker or a construction worker. This guy is so well put together. I wouldn't say he has like alligator arms.
No, I'm just telling you. I'm not saying he has short arms. His words. He says, I have short arms. I prefer the ball in the inside 2/3 of the plate. And
hey, short arms are, it happens.
Yeah, but you broadcast, he hits. So there's a difference. So we're not going back to second base.
I can't reach out
in New Jersey in high school.
I still love the story you pushing him off the phone books. That's a classic. That's outstanding.
And somewhere that's documented. It is live television after all. Ball hit towards the middle. Goes towards, plays a nice hop and gets it across 2 men down. All right, we're going to see if Mr. Palmer does in fact have the great memory. The AT&T trivia question.
Anybody knows this.
You up. Play along. 1966 World Series. Frank Robinson had 2 home runs off which Dodgers pitcher? And the answer better be...
Sutton?
No, Drysdale.
John Drysdale.
Double D. Oh, what a wonderful man, too.
Unless you were a hitter.
Yep. Oh, God.
Yeah, you don't want to be a right-handed hitter.
Well, one of my first pitching coaches was Stan Williams. Played with Drysdale and Koufax and talked about the black book he kept on everybody, and the guys that he hit, he put the skull and crossbones next to your name, and the guys he didn't. And he told me a great story. He's in an old-timers game, Stan Williams. And, I mean, when he threw batting practice, he threw at us.
Really?
Oh, if you stood there and watched a BP home run, the next pitch came up and in. And you're talking about, he was 55. He still threw like 80 miles an hour. So it's kind of scary when you're 5 o'clock hitter. Anyway, he said he's in an old-timers game, looked through his black book, looked at this guy's name. Oh, no skull and crossbones. I'm going to face him today. Drills this guy. You're talking about guys in their 50s. So the guy goes up to Steamer after the game. He's like, why did you hit me? He goes, well, I missed it while we were playing together. I didn't get a chance to drill you. He said, this, good a time as any to take care of it.
Willie Eva's first at-bat after taking over for Ivan Rodriguez.
These are the people that taught us how to pitch and play.
We need guys like that coming back.
Steamer was great. Those are some mean Dodger
And the amazing thing is, Don Drysdale really was a great guy, very nice man, but not on the mound.
As wonderful a human being as I've ever met. And every time I saw him, he just treated you like, you were family, you were best friends, and just always made you feel great.
Yeah, we did some ABC work together. Cap City's bottom. We couldn't have a ostentatious car. 86 playoff. Al Michaels, Don Drysdale in a compact car. 6'6", 6'4", and 5'10".
I did a CBS radio game with him at Dodger Stadium, and the booth had a hard floor, and the chairs had wheels, and all of a sudden our chairs started moving backwards. And what the heck? It was an earthquake, and he looks at me and goes, it's nothing but a tremor.
It's a 5-5. It's nothing.
Slow roller towards Tejada, who charges, plays a nice hop, throws on the run, and Ferguson has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We play 5. Birds have a 4-3 lead. Acura Advance, and by Suzuki and the amazing new Kasashi Sport Sedan. Oh, boy, it's going to be mid-game. Time for some chicken wings. Oh, do they look good. And maybe a little helmet cup ice cream. Mr. Palmer, here's the Orioles box score.
Well, there you go. Adam Jones back-to-back games with 2-run home runs, but this one very unusual, a inside the Parker home run. And again, Orioles early runs today, and Craig Stammen is quieted down.
Miguel Tejada leads off, takes high.
And Miguel would certainly like to get going. It's not been a good month. Still looking for his first home run in the month of May.
Hard hit ball. There's a base hit into left field. So Miguel has a 2-hit game. He's now got 14 multi-hit games to tie Wigginton for the team lead. And now our favorite part visiting Washington, the Geico President's Race. Go Teddy! Come on, Teddy!
No, Teddy cheap shot at him.
That's just not
despicable how those younger presidents take care of Teddy all the time.
Well, does George always win? No. There you go.
Abe wins a lot. Thomas Jefferson wins a lot. They just don't let Teddy win. All three of them have ganged up, formed an alliance, and they say, Teddy, you're not winning.
And last night, the Oriole Bird messed it up for him, and today, his fellow brethren.
I'm telling you, the Gecko can go out there some days, and they do everything they can to make sure Teddy does not win a race.
Here is Luke Scott, who, by the way, did not have a hit his last at-bat to extend his hitting streak. The official scorer saw it differently and said error on Stammen. So he is 0 for 2, and he took one high and tight, and he's hearing about it from his teammates on the bench.
Well, but that may be the best pitch I've seen Stammen throw this year, to stand a hitter up like that. And I'm being serious. He stays away, and he never comes inside on anybody. And I've said this, you need to start taking offense, because you don't want to be pitching in Syracuse, do you?
No, that's a good point. Real good point.
He's only 12 for his last 24. There's no cause for concern.
It doesn't matter who's standing up there, though. And that's my point being is that, listen, you got to pitch like your job depends on it. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. You got to pitch to both sides of the plate. That's what you got to do.
We saw Tyler Walker getting loose for the Nats. Luke Scott towards the hole. Kennedy has it. We'll go to second one. Guzman no throw back as Scott legs it out. So one away here in the 6th inning. Day game here tomorrow for the Birds, and then they'll head home off this 5-game road trip. 1:30 tomorrow, then a day off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. The Athletics are in town, night games, and then the Blue Jays are in town next Friday, back to AL East. All those games on MASN HD, and the Thursday game on MASN 2 HD.
Good luck against Toronto. They hit like 6 solo home runs last night, and they lead the major leagues in home runs, like 70.
Yeah, the other night they hit 5 home runs, 3 3-run home runs.
So Dwayne Murphy, their hitting coach, I interviewed him the other day.
I pitched against him.
Was a player with Steve McCaddy. What was he like to pay? They're hitting like him. They're hitting like 240 as a team with a ton of home runs.
Wigginton gets into one deep to left field. Back it goes. Willingham watches, and that ball is gone. There's a 2-run home run for Ty Wigginton and a 4 RBI game. And the Orioles add to their lead and now have a 6-3 edge.
Well, he makes a good pitch to Luke Scott, gets the ground ball, and then a bad pitch to Wigginton. Again, you're going to pitch a high ball hitter up in the zone. It better be up and in, not out over the plate. I mean, it can't get much more inside middle, elevated. H.H. Gregg, any way you look at this slow motion, the Exmo, it's out of here.
For Wigginton, that is number 13, and he now has 31 RBIs with his 4 in this game.
That's 2 more than he hit all last year.
Well, we talked about Stammen. Very hittable. Not even through the 6th inning. Has given up 8 hits. Just even a hit to the pitcher.
Wigginton in April did not even get his first start until the 5th game of the season. Ryan Roberts was injured in the 4th game, and Wigginton became a regular the next day. And his readers takes low, and even without that first 4 games, he still hit 6 home runs, driven 12 in April. Well, this month he's even better. 7 home runs. He now has 19 RBIs this month.
Well, and you said this about your own guy, Ferguson. One of his best attributes is he makes hitters dance. And
you might
want to explain that. What is making a hitter dance? Because I talk about this all the time.
Move the feet. We saw him do it to Paul Merrill, and then try to, get him out with changeups and curveballs. I mean, again, it's just make them uncomfortable. You don't have to. He doesn't have to be up by the chin. Rickleman's going to come out, but Wieters gets a base hit.
You have to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey, you hit with your legs. And if your legs, your foundation's a little shaky because you're in and out, you got to move them. Tougher to hit.
Orioles have a 6-3 lead, still batting in the 6th. Stammen leaves. Walker coming on for the Nats. Private luncheon at Oriole Park. It comes your way on Saturday, June 26th at 11 a.m. You can meet Hall of Famers Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Jim Palmer, and Earl Weaver, as well as the 1970 American League MVP Boog Powell. Plus, receive an autographed ball signed by all returning players, as well as your own personal photo taken with the members of the 1970 team and the World Series trophy. For all the details, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com/1970reunion.
And that, as we look at Tyler Walker, that's also the Nats will be in Baltimore that weekend.
Really?
Yes.
I might have to make my way
over
there.
It's a 4:05 game. Come for lunch, Rob.
I will. Get stuff signed by all you guys. See how you and Earl Weaver are making out over there.
Oh, we're fine now. It's 40 years later.
Over the 40 years you guys have made up?
Oh, many times.
Adam Jones, first ball swinging, pops it up. Nieves, foul territory back of the plate, has it for the out. So on one pitch, Walker gets an out, 2 down in the Orioles' 6th.
So you were 108-54. Pretty good year.
What? Oh, in
70?
Yeah, Weaver didn't let us lose a lot. Even better the year before, 109. And then the next year, the year we had the 420 game winners, 101 wins.
That's a gorgeous ring, by the way.
That's actually 83.
Really?
Yeah. Phillies.
Not only does he have people, he has rings all over the place, too. 66, 70,
it's good to be the king, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, the only problem back then, they did not give you, if you went to the World Series, which I was fortunate enough to do on 6 Oriole teams, if you didn't win, because we won the first year, you never got a ring for losing.
You didn't get an American League championship ring?
No.
Really?
No, the team had to buy it. It was tough to get money back then.
Wow. This Torres is up, count him 1-0. And this ball's hit towards the gap in left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Making the turn and heading to third is Wieters. Morgan plays it back to second, and after a big turn, as Torres settles for a base hit. So what this will do for the Orioles is get the Ferguson at bat out of the way as his Torres gets a 2-out base hit.
Well, how can you say out of the way? I mean, when he's 1 for 2. They can't get him out.
Well, apparently they can. He's 1 for 2.
Pretty good approach by Cesar. Just took it where it was pitched. And again, it's up in the zone. That ball down another 4 or 5 inches, you don't quite get to it. You don't get the good part of the bat on it, and then it hangs up, and one of your guys runs it down. That's what pitching's about.
Big at bat right here. You got to get the pitcher, especially in the National League. 2 outs, you're down 3 runs.
So what does Tyler Walker feature?
Got a good fastball, got a very good changeup, and a big over-the-top hook.
That's what Jones, the one that was up a little bit, popped up.
Yep.
Ferguson was 1 for 3 in his start here last May the 24th. Has a base hit already here today. Takes it high. Good batting eye by Brad Ferguson. So this will really put the pressure on Millwood tomorrow, who used to pitch in the National League, got the regular reps, and he was looking forward to hitting. So Bergie's got the bragging rights so far.
Yeah, he said, I'm not really that good.
As a hitter?
Yeah, talking about Kevin.
Looked at third. Almost got him.
You almost found out why they do that. We saw Steve Busby down in Texas. This guy started this, and he was so good at it. There we go.
The key to Tyler Walker's move is he doesn't go to third. He steps off, looks at third, but throws to first. So he is a little bit more deceptive than that. I'm going to slowly look towards third and then throw it to first, which never, well, it actually worked against us once this year.
I'm proud to say in 4,000 innings, I never attempted that. I looked foolish enough without doing something like that. Just never thought it was going to work.
2-1 on Brad Ferguson, and it's high ball 3. So Ferguson got himself in trouble by falling behind Stammen 3-0, who then doubled. It could have been the third out of the inning. The Nats took advantage and eventually scored a run, and now it's 3-1 on Ferguson. Takes a strike, as he should.
Think they're pitching around him, Jim?
I believe they are, Cakes. The word is out. Hey, you're at the game.
There's that retro jersey.
As tourist goes. Oh, and by the way, thank you for keeping your promise and bringing us all your retro T-shirts.
I went over to the blood drive. They have like 300-400 people, which is like apparently a lot. They need blood for all of Maryland, Pennsylvania, and even into Washington. But the retro jerseys hadn't come, so I bought the T-shirts.
Right.
We'll have the retro jerseys in Baltimore. Cool.
Another 3-2 pitch is hit slowly towards third. Ryan Zimmerman charges and gets it to first to end the inning. But the Orioles add to their lead as Ty Wigginton came up. We invite you to join us tomorrow, 1:30 on MASN HD and on MASN 2 HD. The Nationals and the Orioles concluding the series. Kevin Millwood goes to the mound, yet again looking for his first win on the year, despite a 3.65 ERA. And he'll go against the pride of Siena College. John Lannon goes for the Nats, 1-2 on the year, with an ERA of 6.02. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. O's Extra on Masson HD, Nats Extra on Masson 2 HD. And there's a look at the pitching matchup.
There you go, Lannon. Of course, you mentioned he's always been tough against the Orioles, but having some forearm problem. And Kevin Millwood still looking for the elusive win number 1. Pitched well, non-supported.
Well, Ferguson goes to work here in the 6th inning, but allowed 8 hits and 3 runs.
That's a lot of work for 15 outs.
Yeah, 99 pitches.
What's the most pitches you ever threw in a game?
You know, I don't really. I know 169 pitches in a playoff game, 1-5 to 3 complete game.
There's a ball lifted towards right field. Marquez charging in and a sliding try, but it's off his glove. Jones backing up will keep Kennedy to a single.
And then the next game, which was a World Series game, 171. And then got down 2-0 in
How many
game 6.
strikeouts?
I don't know, 9, 10, 11, something like that.
It's a dying quail, basically, and his ball is just losing momentum. Marquez comes in. H.H. Gregg here on the Exmo. It's leather. Would have been a heck of a play, but it's a little rainy, and the rain's coming down. And
he usually makes that play.
Yeah, I would say he probably does.
As the rain gets heavier, actually.
I think Marquez is an excellent player. You have some fabulous young guys on this team. Wieters, Jones, Marquez. Roberts isn't so young, but he's still a heck of a player when he comes back.
Oh, no, the nucleus is there. Wieters behind the plate. And
do you have some good guys down in the minor leagues, the pitching-wise?
Pitching-wise.
To go with Mattis and Ferguson?
Not a lot of position players.
Well, one to Bernardina is inside, a ball and a strike.
Well, there's the two guys that come as we look at Mark Hendrickson. Actually got a spot start last Sunday. But Jake Arrieta and then Chris Tillman, who was up with the Orioles for a while last year. They've been pitching well in AAA. Tillman had a no-hitter.
And Arrieta the other night, Thursday night, at 10 strikeouts.
Reimold should be back up, though.
Pardon?
Reimold.
Well, he's just, they're going to play a little bit at first. And, again, coming back from Achilles tendon surgery, and that takes a while.
Oh, and PA's got the off-the-bone deal.
Yeah.
Hard hit ball down the line. That is a fair ball. That's heading towards the corner. Marquez will go to dig it out. Kennedy hitting the third. He'll be sent. Pat Listash sends him. And on to third base with a stand-up triple is Bernardina. So the Nats are right back in it, down by 2, and a runner at third and none down.
Yeah, now you see why the bullpen's up. A lot of pitches up in the zone for Brad Ferguson. He somehow got through 5, but again, they got him a lot of runs, and this is just going to be a breaking ball, something that just stays up. It means thigh high inside to a lefty. They love it there. Well, see the result.
If we can get Bernardina consistently to hit, you asked me who was faster, Adam Jones or Nigel Morgan. I think Bernardina might be the fastest of the 3. And I'll tell you, as far as athleticism goes, too, he's as good as any kid I've seen. His arm's great, runs, catches, does everything well. It's just doesn't have a lot of baseball time as a baseball player.
Mike Morse was on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher, but after that triple, he went back to the bench, and now Roberto Gonzalez has come out on deck, and he'll be the pinch hitter. As the Nats now have the tying run potentially coming to the plate, and pitch hitter Roberto Gonzalez.
Well, for us guys, Roberto Gonzalez has just been tremendous, playing third, short, second. Once again, not getting a lot of reps as far as at bats and stuff, but never complains, works hard every day. He's a great young man, and he knew he was going to lose a lot of playing time this year with Desmond making the team as a starting shortstop.
2-run lead. Orioles play the infield back, and ball 1 to Roberto Gonzalez.
Well, the scoreboard makes you play back, so it's a great hitting opportunity as long as you don't strike out. And Ferguson has 1 on the afternoon. And again, the pitch count now 105. What are the odds of him striking somebody out?
Hard hit ball past Wigginton. There's another base hit. 3 in the inning. Bernardina scores a 1-run game.
Well, and it's a 1-run game, and guess who's coming up to the plate?
Niger Morgan, whose misplay.
Well, Ferguson's pitch comes in. It's a sinker that doesn't sink. Gonzalez doesn't try to do too much. Hits it by Wigginton, and that will be the last pitch Ferguson throws today.
So Ferguson still can win this game. He cannot lose it. The runner on base that is his responsibility, only the tying run. So Hendrickson getting set to come on here in the 6th. Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. By Nissan. Right now, get a great deal on your new Nissan. During Nissan's National Tent Event, see a Nissan dealer today. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. Well, the kids having fun at the ballpark. 6-5 game as the hitters have come alive. Let's get a look at the Nats in-game box score, Mr. Dibble.
Christian Guzman once again hitting really well. Ryan Zimmerman's come out of it a little bit today. And Roger Bernardino near the end. That triple was huge. Drove in a run, get us back in there. And a nice pinch hit performance there by Roberto Gonzalez. But it's up to Nigel Morgan here to keep things going.
Mark Hendrickson comes on. Lefty versus lefty. Morgan shows bunt, takes a strike. This will also flip Guzman over to the other side of the plate. He'll bat right-handed against Hendrickson. Guzman is on deck.
Or he's hitting over 450.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Hendrickson doesn't really dominate. Actually, lefties hit him better. As you can look, 24 hits, 19 and a third inning. Spot start, 5 innings. Actually pitched pretty well. Didn't get any run support on Sunday. Jake Westbrook really pitched a good game coming back from Tommy John surgery for the Indians.
Talk about the tilt, though, on a 6'10" guy.
Yeah, he's 6'9", in the NBA. He's downhill, and he's going to throw maybe 88. Best pitch probably is to a lefty, big curveball. But there's your 87 mile per hour. And righties, he'll pitch in with a fastball, and then the two-seamer down the way and the changeup to go with it.
Well, and something I really didn't get to with Stammen is that he doesn't do what Ferguson should do a little bit more of, is making hitters uncomfortable. Getting them back on their heels, throwing some pitches in to work the plate away, and a lot of young guys don't do that well.
Bunted back towards the mound. Hendrickson quickly turns and gets it to first. So with nobody down, Jim Riggleman asking for a bunt, so that gets the tying run to second base with one man down. And we welcome you into the Battle of the Beltways here at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. as the Masson families come together. Jim Hunter with Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, Jim Palmer, Debbie Taylor, Amber Theo Harris, and, of course, our fine Masson crew.
Yes, Guzman, 20 for 46 hitting from this side of the plate.
When we've talked about this, I mean, most switch hitters are natural right-handed hitters. I happened to talk to Greg Zahn, who was with you guys last year, and a switch-hitting catcher. And I asked him, I said, you ever go in a slump one side of the way? He said, yeah, right now, right-handed. And I'm a natural right-handed hitter. He was all messed up about it.
Breaking ball for a strike.
Greg Zahn was a kid, and his dad, his uncle, Robert Dempsey, they caught for the Orioles, and they went out and got Danny Graham, a left-handed hitting catcher. And that's when he said, you know what? If my uncle doesn't get to play every day because they have a left-hander, I'm going to learn to switch hit.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't it?
0-1 is inside, and did it hit him? Yes, it did.
Well, you don't have to worry about him. He just happens to be the go-ahead run here in the 6th inning. Trying to come in.
He'd start him off with an off-speed breaking ball, about 72 miles an hour. Then he comes back, speeds it up 15 mile an hour faster, clips him in the shoulder with an 89 mile an hour inside heater. I mean, I like the idea. It's just the effect, not what you would want by putting the go-ahead run on base.
Ryan Zimmerman now, who has 2 hits on the day, is also bounced into a force play.
Still seems to be jamming himself. He's been 2 weeks, and the thing about Ryan is sometimes it seems like he's too close to the plate, and then he starts hitting it off the sweet spot again, and it just jumps over the fence. I mean, he hits the ball as hard as anybody I've ever seen hit the ball.
Everybody I talked to, all the advanced scouts, said what they like so much is that he has terrific power in right center field.
Oh, yeah, that's his
stay on the ball with the best of them.
That ball's trouble down the line. It's hooking and is foul.
Well, Hagen curveball. The Nationals have done a nice job of hitting the hitters' pitches today. They aren't missing too many of them. There have been a bunch of
mistakes.
Yep.
Every time there's been a mistake, they've slammed it. There's the swing. Well, I liken him, watching him every day, to Mike Piazza, where he's very quiet at the plate, very comfortable. They will pitch him in a lot, and whether you knock him down or not, he's not that kind of guy. He's like Piazza, will come right back the next at bat and drill the ball to right center field. I mean, there's just some guys you can't get in their head, and he's one of them.
Ball and a strike on Zimmerman. 2 on him, 1 down. Swings through it, maybe a foul tip. Yes, it was. And 1 and 2 on Zimmerman, who has bounced into 6 double plays on the year.
The 90 is about as hard as you're ever going to see Mark Hendrickson pitch. Running away a little bit.
Here are the runners. The lead runner, Alex Gonzalez, who got a pinch hit RBI single. And Christian Guzman, who was hit by a pitch. Zimmerman taking his time, as is Mark Hendrickson, who's staring in, still staring in. And finally, Zimmerman requesting time and steps out. The tying run out there at second base is Ferguson's responsibility. Foul back. Brad went 5 innings plus the 3 batters. So far, 5 earned runs on 11 base hits.
Yeah, Brad Ferguson could conceivably, not looking too good, win this game, but he will not be happy with his performance, nor will Stammen. They just didn't pitch that well.
Adam Dunn behind him, Josh Willingham. You think he's anxious? He's on double deck. A little bit low, good eye, 2 and 2.
Well, and with Craig Stammen, though, he pitches to contact, but he's not pitching to the proper contact. He's not making them get it off the end of the bat, jamming them, and he's got to learn that if you're going to pitch up here, you make them hit your pitches, and you set them up to hit your pitches, and he's not doing a great job of that.
Hendrickson being careful. 2-2 pitches bounce to the left side. They won't get 2. Turris will have to hurry and safe at first base. As Zimmerman legged it out on the big bouncer as Turris got it. But Zimmerman hustling down the line just did beat the throw. There's another one of those close plays at first base.
Well, I'll have to see the replay. He might have got him. No. Right at the end, the ball kind of tailed. And
well, here, look at that short hop.
Yeah, he's off balance, so he's all arm.
Yeah, he beat it.
Yep.
And again, playing up the middle, he had to come probably 10 steps. Talking about his Turris, and by the time he gets it, doesn't handle it cleanly. And of course, it is raining. Ball wet, field wet. And then Ryan Zimmerman smelled a base hit.
And maybe 2 of the biggest players in the big leagues now face off here.
Adam Dunn against Mark Hendrickson. Foul, straight at the plate. 0-1 on Adam Dunn, who was hitless on the day.
Adam goes about 6'6", 6'7", 290, 300.
Well, he's got him weight-wise.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
You called him Paul Bunyan.
Well, Bunyan-esque. Not to his face.
No, he's the best kid.
Oh, he's a terrific kid.
Bases loaded, one down. And that's inside.
Good eye there.
Pitch.
Well, the one thing, you look at all the numbers, I mean, 40 home runs or more 6 times, and he strikes out over 100 times, but there have been a lot of seasons where he walks over 100 times.
He's got an amazing on-base percentage, but he's tried to cut down on those 190 strikeouts a year.
1-1 pitch is hit towards the middle, and a base hit past the dive of Asturias. 2 runs are going to score, and the Nationals have the lead. A 4-run inning for the Nets.
Well, they've got 5 hits, a guy hit by a pitch, and they gave the Orioles an out. The sacrifice by Morgan. So it comes down. If you're done, can you do what you haven't really done this year, which is hit with runner in scoring position? And the answer is yes.
Well, and it looked like Wieters wanted that pitch on the inner half, and the UPS story there on the pitch track showed that it went to the outer half. Dunn covers the outside part of the plate quite well. And he drives in 2 right there. That was a huge hit for Adam with the shift on.
Well, Mark Hendrickson has faced 4 batters, and the only one he retired, that bunt Jim referred to by Nigel Morgan on the sacrifice. Here's Willingham. Of course, he got a tough break on the Zimmerman at-bat on the slow chopper to short. It was bobbled just ever so slightly by Asturias.
Well, when you're not overpowering, and Mark Hendrickson, it doesn't matter how many innings you pitch, if you don't make your pitches, when you're 87 to 88, and they're in the middle of the plate, and you don't get lefties out, because there's not a lot of deception. I mean, there's a deception of the angle, as you talked about, Rob, being 6'9".
And less wiggle room to make a mistake.
Yeah, he doesn't drop down, so the arm angle is going to be pretty conventional. You probably see the ball pretty well.
1-0 on Willingham with 2 on. Swings through it, off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that's a good changeup.
I mean, I love my partner, Bob Carpenter, but he's not getting back in here. I mean, as long as Jim Hunter's in that seat, we've been scoring runs. 7 now in the last 4 innings.
Oh, don't you have to set up the rubber game?
Yeah, the rubber match tomorrow.
If they win.
Can we switch and just get Jim to start the show and then have Bob come in the middle innings? Because this getting down, and I know it's in Baltimore, but I'm kind of tired of being down in the first inning every time.
Well, just to bring it down off the ledge a little bit, the Orioles also have scored 4 runs since I've been sitting in here, so that hadn't happened prior to that.
Yeah, but the Nationals have scored 5.
Yes,
that's why they lead.
Well, they've actually scored all 7.
All 7 since he's been in that seat.
Ooh.
I'm starting to think that you guys might be a tad superstitious.
I'm very superstitious. I know you guys don't care, but it's just always been my deal.
Really?
It's not just superstition, it's karma. I just think some things lead to good karma, bad karma.
The 2-2 pitch is hit towards first base. That is a fair ball. Luke Scott goes to the bag. That's his only play. 2 men down. And the other 2 runners advance. Zimmerman to third and Dunn to second.
But you have to admit this has been a strange game. I mean, it's been a strange week for us. The triple play in the Parker by the Mets, and now just all day today.
And what Hendrickson is trying to do here is just get out of here and keep it at a 1-run deficit. Another base hit, and the Nats will get 2 more.
Oh, well, Nieve's not a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position, but he came in hitting .333, 4 for 12.
Well, he likes to shoot between second base and first base, so Wigington may want to shade a little bit towards the first base bag.
He was bragging, about how big a bat he used.
Well, yeah, he had Adam Dunn's bat.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
He doesn't use that normally?
No. No, I think
well, that would slow your swing down if you're not, even though,
or build up your wrists in batting practice. I don't think he's using it right now. But
I mean, Edgar Martinez used to swing a heavier bat in batting practice because he wanted the bat during the game to feel a little bit lighter.
High fly ball to right field. Markakis is there, and he has it for the out. The inning finally ends, but the Nationals get 4 runs to get the lead on 5 base hits. Led to the 7th, and a 7-6 Nats lead. tomorrow against the Orioles. That is May the 23rd at 1:35. So bring the family out here early. Pre-game player autographs start at 12:15. And the first 10,000 kids aged 12 and under get a free kids t-shirt. Stick around after the game for Kids Running the Bases. That's tomorrow in the finale of this 3-game series. And the rain coming down a tad harder, so the fans are seeking shelter. And here's Sean Burnett, third pitcher used by the Nats.
Well, it certainly looks like he's been pitching well. Hasn't been scored on the last 5 of his appearances, and again, in 19 appearances, 14 of them scoreless. So he comes in with a 1-run lead to maintain.
Bob Carpenter just jumped in here. But once again, guys, 16 of the last 25 between these two ball clubs have been decided by 2 runs or less. And it's a 1-run ball game, and we're coming down the stretch. So I think that's how you start rivalries. You know, you don't like playing each other because
you don't like to lose.
You don't like to lose, and I'm just glad now the Nationals are going to start giving the Orioles a run for their money. I like that.
Top of the lineup, Corey Patterson, Nick Markakis, Miguel Tejada. And against the left-hander, Sean Burnett. Ryan Zimmerman is well in at third, respecting the bunting ability of Corey Patterson, and there's a strike. And a sidearm action, though. There's a hard hit ball foul behind T-Bone Shelby.
So lefties are hitting 286 off of Burnett, and righties are hitting 100.
He's totally struggling with getting lefties out.
How does that happen?
I can't explain it. It's just every time he comes in to get a lefty or 2 out, they seem to get hits. And then the righties, he's just got really good stuff and a great changeup. And obviously, it's conducive to getting the righties out. I got lefties out better coming out of the pen.
0-2, and he's down on strikes. A 3-pitch strikeout.
That was an excellent breaking ball, and I wouldn't mind seeing a few more of those from Sean.
Well, this could be a 2-batter appearance, as you saw Clippard getting loose.
This has great late break on it. Ended up way outside. I mean, if he does hit it, it's probably a fly ball or ground ball to the left side.
Nick Markakis now has had a good day with a couple of base hits. He singled in his first at-bat and scored. That was an 8-pitch at-bat. Singled in the third, and he was a 5-3 ground-out at-bat in the 5th inning.
Well, you want to see how you are against lefties. Nick is hitting 380 against left-handed pitching. What an amazing number that is. Tells you why he's such a .299 lifetime hitter coming into this season.
Yeah, not all natural left-handed hitters hit lefties that way. I mean, this is impressive. I've seen a lot of guys. Even Granderson came into this year. Last year he hit like $180 off of lefties. That's the usual.
I used to talk to Paul O'Neill when he won the batting title. He went 349, and he hit lefties well. 5 straight years with the Yankees over 300. And I said, how do you do that? He said, well, Don Mattingly told me, number one, there's a lot of gold, a lot of money to be made to left field. And think about what all good left-handed hitters do. Mike Flanagan at the end of his career, left-handed specialist, he said that front shoulder goes in, they cover the outside corner. And they do that well. Paul O'Neill also said if you're going to try to hit the breaking ball until you get the 2 strikes, you want to hit the one at you because that's more hittable. So lay off the one away, hit the one at you, and then when you get the 2 strikes, scuffle, which is the case here. Look at that. Only Super Saver could do well in this weather.
I call it kitty litter. Basically the same stuff.
Yeah.
Or the stuff you put down in your garage to sop up the oil or.
Were you at motorcycles and stuff?
Yes, I did.
Strike 3 call. Jerry Lane rings him up. So back-to-back Ks and 2 men down.
Now, I wanted to bring up Paul O'Neill. I played with Paul for many years in the minor leagues and in the big leagues. And there was a year after he hit like 28 homers and 92 RBI and it's a great outside fastball located perfectly. Might have been a little out. Jerry Lane gives him that one.
Jerry doesn't like the rain.
And Lou threatened to platoon Paul against left-handed pitchers. And that infuriated Paul. Then he got traded to the Yankees. Got a little bit more knowledge by Don Mattingly, and the rest is history. 4 world championships to add to the one he won with us with the Reds, so 5 in all. But Paul, what a wonderful guy. No one, painfully humble. You can never get Paul to talk about Paul.
Tejada takes low, 1-1 the count.
I enjoy him when he does. He works for the Yankees on the Yes Network. There's one of my former teammates does a terrific job. Kenny Singleton.
Wonderful.
And then John Flaherty. They have a nice project. Al Leiter's on that.
I think they have Coney on there. They have Dave Cohen on there.
It's a cast of thousands.
Tejada fouls it off. 1-2 the count. Miguel with the multi-hit game is 14th.
Paul's probably one of the best athletes I've ever been around. Golf, tennis.
Oh, there's somebody told me he used to have like basketball, 130-mile-per-hour serve when he played tennis.
Yeah.
And he's left-handed.
And he did it against me, and he'd go, hey, you just want to go hit the ball over the net a little bit? And he was serving like a pro tennis player. I'm like, Paul, that's not fun for me. I mean, you're talking about just hitting it back and forth, and you're like blowing it by me.
1-2 to Tejada's outside, 2-2.
But he could drop a golf ball down on the tee box and hit it 300 yards down the fairway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
And the important thing, his sister used to be the food critic for the New York Times. So where should I eat in New York? I'll ask my sister. The bonus.
Did he ever tell you he took a lot of ribbing for that too, though?
No.
Tejada down the right field side, fading and just foul.
What would?
Well, I mean, like, it's say his sister criticized a restaurant. They're not going to be happy with Paul. Hey, your sister was on our restaurant. She didn't like our cooking.
Well, get it together. Come on.
Change your chef.
Right.
2-2 on Tejada.
Only your restaurant's like playing. You're only as good as your next game.
What restaurants you like in New York? I always like Mickey Manus.
Really?
They had the greatest stuff up on. I mean, the food was great, but
Kennedy plays it well and gets it to first. Tejada ends the inning, and Burnett comes on it as a 3-up, 3-down, 7th inning stretch. 7-6, Nats lead. Find out why 1,000 people are switching to Chevy each day at ChevyDealer.com. Fans enjoying all the amenities here. You can get your Nats dogs in our game summary as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch. A 4-run bottom of the 6th has given the Nationals a 7-6 lead. 23 hits combined. Big day for Ty Wiggins. A 2 for 3, a home run, and 4 RBIs. Josh Willingham has a 2-run home run. And in that 6th inning for the Nats, they get the 4 runs on 5 hits.
Well, taking a look at the Orioles, a legitimate home run by Adam Jones last night. 2-run home run when Nigel Morgan thinks it's over the wall. By the time they get the ball, Willingham running it down. 2-run home run, and then here's your real 2-run home run. A blast. 13th of the year.
Refuse to lose. Nats start coming back. Bernardino with a triple drives in a run. Then Adam Dunn, a big 2 RBI single there. Brings in a couple more in the go-ahead run that was walked. So the Orioles let the Nationals back in the ballgame, and they lead by 1 now.
All the fans here at Nats Park waiting the bottom of the 7th. And we remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals and the Baltimore Orioles. Of course, as visitors here, we get to experience Washington, D.C., The rotunda of the Capitol out there to our left, and we actually saw the president's helicopter. He was in West Point today for the graduation, fly by the stadium. It was absolutely fascinating to watch the 3 helicopters with the 2 trail helicopters. And the president, I guess this is the flight path back to the White House. It's fascinating to see that.
Are you going to tell our enemies a little bit more about the president? I'm just kidding. This flight path is right by here. No, but yeah, they do fly over here a lot. They fly up and down the river a lot, and it is awesome to work here. In fact, I have a friend of mine from the Capitol Police that's in the building today. And I've gotten a tour over there. You get tours of all the different museums and stuff. So this is one of the cooler jobs you could have in baseball. So I'm very blessed. Thank you, Madison. I do love it. I mean, we get to see that 81 times a year.
That was a good story till you stuck the security.
I was kidding. Well, don't you always love it when the news always says where the president's going to be and all that kind of... I don't think people need to know all that stuff.
Meantime, it's 3-0 on Adam Kennedy, lower third of the lineup up, and there's a 4-pitch walk. Mark Hendrickson. All right, guys, here's an email question for our 2 experts in the booth. If you could pick a player to start a new franchise, who would it be? Thank you, Taylor, from Frederick, Maryland, where the Frederick Keys play.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, before
we could go pitcher, you could go everyday player.
Well, you guys are probably... Steven Strasburg might be a...
I was told that might be one of our answers, but I'm going to pick somebody who's already in the major leagues. I would go with Albert Pujols.
Yeah, how old is he? Like 30?
Well, don't we get to say that they're in their prime?
Yeah, well, he is in his prime. He's been in his prime for 10 years, though, from the rookie year on. I was going to pick Hanley Ramirez, so he doesn't quite get it.
Well,
he's an awfully good player.
A little bit. All right, let me think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a good question.
It's an excellent question.
Roger Bernardina up. Tejada expecting a bunt. He does square. He butts it right to Tejada. Miguel goes to second base. High and out at second base. Brian Runge eventually tells us. So Tejada with that strong arm, it sailed, but Cesar Asturias able to get the foot back on the bag ahead of the slide of Kennedy, 1 down.
Well, and Bernardina, but this is not a good bunt right here. He hits it too hard. Great job by Tejada, who has a rifle for an arm, and he just throws it a little high, but he comes down early enough to get Kennedy at second base.
Well, if you look around, you could see first baseman Luke Scott way back. And that's what they were waiting for.
Exmo, great job right there.
Boy, that is such a great feature. Slows everything down.
Well, Tejada utilizing his strong arm. He was charging in, and as Rob mentioned, that bunt was hit hard right at him. So 1 down, the runner still at first, and here's Mike Morse.
Well, who would you want to bunt it to? Again, a young player, but who would you want to bunt it to?
First baseman. Running in, and he'd have to turn his body and throw it the other way.
Plus, it's a DH. And he's playing first because of interleague play. I think I might choose him.
Morse pinch hitting for the pitcher, Sean Burnett.
Mike is the player that your center fielder played behind in Seattle before you traded for him.
Oh, we saw him. We saw him a couple of years ago when he came up with the Mariners. Been in for a lot of power, but he really hit the Orioles well. Play all over.
He's very versatile. Very versatile.
And he's a big kid.
Hendrickson checking Bernardina. And a strike on the inside corner. Maybe a generous call, but Hendrickson will take it. 1-1. Wayne seems to have let up. And back is Niger Morgan, the leadoff hitter. 7-6 game on 23 hits. So the first, and then back to the bag easily is Bernardina, who has 2 steals on the year in 3 attempts. The Nationals have 29 stolen bases as a team. They are 4th in the league, but they have been caught the most. 17 caught stealings by the Nats. Jim Riggleman has them aggressively running. 2-1, pitch misses. Hendrickson on in relief of Ferguson, who went 5 innings plus 3 batters and allowed 6 runs on 11 hits. The go-ahead run charged to Hendrickson, so he is the pitcher of record.
And Mark really struggling with his command this afternoon.
I have my answer. Joe Mauer.
Oh, no.
Joe Mauer. Handles the pitching staff well. Tremendous hitter. Young.
Couple of batting days.
Plays every day.
Has had some back problems, but.
Why are you being such a down?
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
You're on my pick.
Well, no, I
Who's your pick?
Well, I don't know. I'm still thinking. I can't say Joe Mauer, but that's one heck of a.
2-2 is inside.
And you can see his ability to pitch in. And then. And they'll be running here. I'm very surprised that they don't. And I'm very surprised if Hendrickson doesn't throw over there. And he doesn't.
Neither happened, and there's a bouncer towards the lawn, a base hit. So 2 pinch hits in this game for the Nats. One by Gonzalez that drove in a run. And this one by Mike Morse that extends the inning with Bernardino going to second base. And only one down, so the Nats have a chance.
Well, and Morse gets a 3-2 pitch that he can handle, gets on top, drives it with power in between short and third, and you see him coming down first base, pumping his fist. And we just got some guys that want to produce. They're not getting a lot of at-bats. Hard to keep your edge and stay sharp, but...
Any reason why they didn't run? I'm surprised there. Not a good move. Hendrickson's not known for that. I'm sure their advanced scouts told him that.
But we're a little shy, I think, right now. We've been thrown out so much lately. I mean, it's like the last 2 weeks. It's just been nothing but gunned out, gunned out, gunned out. I mean, Olivo and then Yadier Molina. Barajas was doing it. I mean, it's Henry Blanco is the backup, played a game for the Mets, gunned us out a couple times.
1-0 on Niger Morgan.
All right, I'll let you pick from your era, but you can't pick you.
Well,
you can start a team with anybody from your era.
Well, I had a lot of choices. You know, I could have had Cal.
You get one choice.
No, I'm saying I could have had Cal Ripken Jr. Could have had Eddie Murray with 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. One of 4 players. Could have had Frank Robinson, who was the best hitter I ever played with. Heads. And set the tone for the whole team.
A loud foul down the right side, a souvenir for a fan. Morgan, by the way, has not grounded into a double play all year. So even if Hendrickson can induce a ground ball, there's no certainty that they'll be able to double him up. He has just outstanding speed down the line from the left side. Mm. 2-1 is a called strike. Good pitch.
But of all the players in the last 48 and a half, no, I'll just go back.
All right.
In the modern day era, I would have taken Jeter.
It's a good choice. The winner, leader, fantastic player that doesn't get enough credit. Always knocking him. Oh, his defense, his range. He always seems to make the plays and get to the postseason every year and win championships.
Matt Albert's now getting loose for the Orioles.
Pitch last night. Not as effective as he would have liked.
Let's ask Jim Hunter. Jim, who would your pick be?
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Bouncer right back to Hendrickson. He'll go to second for one, back to first, and double play. And there's the first one he's bounced into this year, and the inning ends. I'm going to let you think about that until tomorrow. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Bob Carpenter returns. The Nats have a 1-run lead.
Offense, a little bit of rain, lots of crazy things happening since I last sat with you two characters. Hey, by the way, Rob, I want you to know, I saw a black cat in the stairwell. I walked under a ladder, and it took me 13 steps from the other booth to get over.
I know you're not mocking me. Almost every time I've said don't do this or don't do that, has something bad not happened right after it?
He's got the bloggers and the email people all over me.
Can you hold the lead? Jim Hunter got you the lead. Can you and the Nationals hold it?
I'll take care of the ninth and let him, or the eighth and let him save the ninth.
What did Seinfeld used to say? Anybody can take a reservation, but can you keep it? Can you keep the lead? That's the question.
Not my responsibility. We'll just tell you what happens out there.
While you're away, it was
but
kind
the
of a
bullpen
crazy
is
game.
set up. Oh yeah. By the way, this is the first time 2 inside the park home runs have happened in the same ballpark in the same week since 2003 at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City.
That's great.
And I know you saw George Brett there and other guys. That was a big ballpark with big gaps and things. Willie Wilson hit inside the park home runs there.
Yeah, he got 230 hits too. It's a pretty good year.
The Nationals have their bullpen set up with Tyler Clippard.
All right, Bob. Jim Hunter wouldn't answer the question. One player to start a franchise.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that.
You have till tomorrow, too, because he wouldn't give us an answer.
Tom more spontaneous than that.
Okay.
Lou Scott leads off.
Is Jim Hunter going to go crunch the numbers?
5 years ago, I'll say definitely Albert Pujols. I think right now you're looking for somebody. You talked about guys in their prime, but I'm kind of thinking about young guys who you would build a team around right now. Man. Good changeup by Clippard, who specializes in that.
Well, I kind of tape your games because I hang on every word that you guys. And
sure,
this guy throws some serious changeups and a good one.
He does.
And he sells it.
But sometimes we wonder what he's changing up off of.
Right.
Well,
after he throws change after change.
You're starting a guy off in the inning. That's different. He'll come in with the bases loaded and throw 2 changeups in the dirt. So he starts people off with the out pitch changeup instead of the get me over changeup. Get me over changeups, I have no problem.
You remember Sidney Ponson? When he was 21, he came in and he closed one night. So he's throwing 98 miles per hour. I mean, when he came up, Sidney could really throw.
He could bring it.
Remember Lee Stevens, left-handed?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a slow back. Right. Throws him an 88-mile-per-hour changeup on the first pitch. He hits it over Boob's barbecue. And he thought it was a fastball. And I said the next day, Sidney, I said, I know you're young. I know you're from Aruba. Well, what were you changing up on when you throw 98? But look to me, in the games that I have seen with Tyler, I mean, he's just struggled a little bit with his fastball command, so the changeup can be awfully effective.
And a 2-2 upstairs. And suddenly the Washington bullpen, which doesn't do it a whole lot, is throwing the ball by Baltimore hitters. I mean, Sean Burnett's really not a strikeout pitcher, but he got 2 Ks in the 7th.
Here's the thing about Tyler. He has one of the best rising walk-the-ladder fastballs that I've seen in years. And that's what, when he's getting beat on the secondary, whether it's the curveball or changeup, that's when you start going, well, why are you doing that? You throw a great sinking fastball, a great rising fastball, set up those pitches to where they're nowhere in the hitting zone.
Ty Wigginton, first pitch swinging. Ball in or near the dugout. Near the dugout. Adam Dunn takes it for the second out. Here's our Nationals TV schedule for you. And tomorrow it'll be John Lennon and Kevin Millwood. Haven't seen Kevin in the National League for a while. And then after an off day on Monday, it's on to San Francisco for 3. And then San Diego for the weekend. And then 4 in Houston will close out that road trip.
Yeah, the Orioles, part of our interleague is to actually go to San Francisco in midweek and then end up down in San Diego against the Padres.
Orioles will be home with Oakland and then in Toronto next weekend, followed by at the Yankees. Matt Wieters, base hit up the middle last time, 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard twice. Lined hard to center the time before that.
Well, he's got really good power, more power from this side of the plate to the opposite field. It's not that if you speed up his bat, he can hit a changeup out, but You think that because 6'5", he's got long arms. You think the ball off the corner is unhittable, but great arm span. Not on that one.
Yeah, he was pumping on 2-0.
Yeah. But again, if you're going to swing a 94-mile-per-hour heater with some lift to it, you're not going to hit that pitch very much. Not out of the zone.
That's why I say when you're going to face guys once, why do you need to go to the secondary changeup so often? Because he does it up. He throws his changeup a lot more than the fastball. So it's to me, you want to set that pitch up when you're only facing a guy once.
Well, there's your changeup. You're talking about speeding up your bat. I mean, I think it's one of the worst pitches in baseball when you throw a ball right by a guy and then come back with a changeup and don't make a good pitch. That ball was just a little high, so he took it. But what I like about his delivery, if he can sync it up, is that he got a lot of deception.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, he's all arms and legs.
Yeah, the front arm is just out there. There it goes.
A little flare out behind short for Guzman. And Tyler Clifford has a very quick 1-2-3/8 inning. 7-6, Washington. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Wendy's. Buy a boneless wings combo at Wendy's and get a scratch and scorecard. Win great prizes from the Orioles and Wendy's. Wendy's, you know when it's real. The Masson yacht on its way back from its trip over to Annapolis today. Getting here just in time for the last inning and a half of our ball game. She couldn't care less. She has her late game treat. It'll be Guzman, Zimmerman, and Dunn, bottom of the eighth. And doing more on defense, really, both ball clubs, Rob, and those two double plays, the highlight of Craig Stammen's day.
Yeah, Home Depot doing more on defense, and you just see all these double plays, pitchers inducing big double plays to keep this game tight. So now we go to the bottom of the eighth. Hendrickson's still in there. That was huge, too, because Bernardino, once again, coming around third when you got Niger Morgan to double up for the first time this year.
And by the way, the rain has restarted, and it's coming down hard and fast. Guzman, Zimmerman, and Dunn. He jacks that ball, hooking, and probably about 10 to 15 feet left of the pole.
I have to apologize to Jim. I think he was thinking I was serious about the whole president thing. Bob just knows that I have a strange sense of humor.
Jim,
we all know that.
You should, Jim, you should travel with this man.
No, well, he's talking when they're putting the turfus on the field, which they did a couple of times today.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do, fire leaks oil and all that. So you have motorcycles, don't you?
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard every word.
Oh, Bob,
I've heard my name ripped around a few times. It's okay. No. It's all in fun. It's just we're a family here at Masson, and families have spats. Guzman, right center, cut off by Jones. And Christian makes a wise move. Look at that throw. Wow.
Oh, no. He
Christian Guzman is 3 for 4 today. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Text A. Wigginton, B. Dunn, or C. Willingham, who got the Nationals going with that 2-run homer back in the third. Text A, B, or C to 51862, and we'll have the results for you in the 9th inning.
You got the great diamond vision here. It is terrific.
It's a great screen.
Yeah, it really is.
And by the way, Jim, I'm sure you've noticed this by now. From this vantage point up here, we know balls are in the gaps before the outfielders do.
It is. I mean,
we get the best read on gappers of anybody or down the line in baseball.
What did James Cagney say? I'm on top of the world, Ma. We are. We're up.
By the way, did you enjoy our Coast Guard flyby yesterday? Not a flyover. Yeah. It was a flyby for us.
We were down on the field. Again.
2-0. Yeah, but you told me you like it down there.
Well, no, I said it's a whole... Did I really say that?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I only got to have a choice. But anyway, no, it's just... It's... In the old days, when I worked with Brooks Robinson and did play-by-play for a couple of years, that's where we'd do all our pre-games. They pre-tape them down there.
That was the old way. Yeah. Or you'd be upstairs in front of the chroma key wall, and to drive your director crazy, you'd wear a green tie that day.
Yes.
Because it would disappear.
And of course, he wished that we would disappear.
Yes, and some of the directors could make that happen. Big count to Zimmerman here. Hasn't exactly hit the ball hard, but he has 3 hits today.
That doesn't matter.
That one's up. And hey, Ryan hits his share of hard balls at people all the time.
My first roommate in baseball went to Johns Hopkins, Davey Leonard. He says, if you played long enough, it all evens out. And then he said, got to play long enough. And for Zimmerman, that's not going to be a problem.
No.
He's going to be around a long time. If you play the game at the level he plays it.
3-1 pitch. He'll take the walk. Amber Theo Harris checks in with a note on the O's bullpen.
Well, Bob, as we see Matt Albers warming up in the bullpen, there is growing concern over Koji Uehara. This is usually where we would see Dave Tremblay use Koji out of the pen, and Tremblay admitted that last night he put Albers back out there in the 7th, where he would have liked to have used Uehara, but he wanted to give Koji a second day's rest after he was clearly gassed throwing 29 pitches in 1 inning on Texas on Wednesday. And before the game tonight, Dave said he wanted to talk to Rick Kranitz to see if Koji was available for tonight's game. So perhaps by seeing Albers warming, we can assume the answer. So some conditioning concerns with Koji Uehara here, Bob.
All right, thank you, Amber. Lefty-lefty matchup. By the way, I noticed something. Adam Dunn was not in the on-deck circle. To stay dry, he watched Zimmerman's at bat from the dugout, and as soon as ball 4 happened, he came sprinting up the steps.
Boy, strong and smart.
Evidently. Well, he was a quarterback.
Yeah, you were telling me.
Quarterback played quarterback at Texas before he basically took the
no trouble seeing over the line.
No,
not at all.
No.
And I'm sure a few linebackers were relieved at that. You don't want to see him coming around the corner.
What about
he threw for 4,792 yards and 44 touchdowns at New Caney, Texas High School as a prep player. And the 0-2 to Adam. He'll take it up and away.
You do know he threw to himself, though. All that time. That's how big and long his arms are. No, he's a very good athlete, and they come out here every now and then throw the football around too.
That's what Tom House used to do when he was a pitching coach with the Rangers.
I was with that ball club, and he had Nolan Ryan throwing the football.
Well, it worked for him.
1-2. Adam Dunn gets jammed, but he hits it extremely hard to the gap. Zimmerman's beyond second base. He's going to get doubled off. Where was Ryan Zimmerman going?
Well, he was going to third, to be honest.
Now, Guzman had held up, sensing what was going to happen. But, that Ryan didn't even look up to see where Guzman was.
Well, it's been a strange week in the last 4 days. Pudge Rodriguez did this. Going around third, got thrown out in a big inning. And right there, Ryan Zimmerman, big runs out there.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Guzman doing it perfectly. Halfway. If it gets by Adam Jones, he scores easily from second.
And then he's pointing back to first.
He was playing traffic cop. He actually did a great job, and Ryan did a great job. You have to hit second before you go back to first. Well, there's an unconventional double play to add to the other 3.
Well, we've had the inside park the home run. That was certainly unconventional.
They'll walk Willingham now and take on Will Nieves.
Bob and I got the privilege of watching not only the Mets get an inside the park home run, but have us run into a triple play.
Yeah. Well, obviously he didn't get a good read on the ball. Even us pitchers, when we used to hit, and I used to pinch run when I first came up, the minute I got fairly good, they said no more pinch running. But you go out and you look around, you see where everybody's playing, and you try to get a good read. That's part of the equation of doing that.
But I'll tell you one thing. I think Ryan Zimmerman misread that ball, partly because of what I said on the air. Ryan running, Adam just got jammed enough with that pitch, and he still hit it extremely hard. Let's have a look at our Ford drive of the game from your Washington Ford dealers. The Orioles led 2-0 back in the 3rd when Willingham with 2 outs. Washington finally getting a 2-out hit and a big fly for Willingham's 7th of the year. So they've been dying for 2-out singles, and Josh gave them a 4-bagger. Here's Nieves 0 for 2 since coming in for Pudge Rodriguez.
Well, between Adam Dunn, Willingham, and Zimmerman, I mean, you watch on any given night some of the hardest hit balls you will ever see.
Well, your core 3, they can hit.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean that's a nice nucleus in the middle of your lineup.
But when Adam was sick for a couple of days, we really missed him. We lost Zim for about 2 weeks. You really miss if one of them is out of the lineup. It hurts us.
Nieves pulls the ball out to short. His tourist to Wigington, and now everything's set up for the 9th inning. Matt Capps has been perfect for the Nats this year, 7-6. Founding member of the Citizen of Natstown fan club. Members receive a tour ticket for the ballpark, a discount at the team store, special ticket offers, MLB game day audio, and a whole lot more. You can sign up at natstown.com. Closers into the ball game and a myriad of defensive changes. First of all, Adam Kennedy takes over, goes from second to first. Adam Dunn out of the ball game, and that's where the pitcher is hitting. Christian Guzman from shortstop to second. And then chasing a ball into the outfield is Ian Desmond, who just came into play short. And batting fourth and pitching is Matt Capps.
Pretty nice numbers there. We saw him a couple of years ago when Pittsburgh came into Baltimore. So he got a blown save. The numbers, you look through his numbers against the Orioles. Adam Jones, who's going to lead it off, he's only faced him one time. Of course, Jones already with 2 home runs in this series. One to right center into the seats and then the inside to Parker.
Well, he's had a couple of appearances, Jim, and Rob knows this because one of them was the other night when he's come into the ballgame while behind and given up some hits and some runs.
That's when he doesn't do well.
His ninth inning ERA in games where the Nationals lead is probably under 1. He did give up a solo home run to the Mets the other night, but the Nats had a 3-run lead at the time.
Well, Steve McCaddy, the Nats pitching coach, was just saying, last year maybe the arm dropped a little bit, looked a lot of film. This year he's up on top more, a lot more strikes. Well, that's one thing about him. He's usually a strike thrower.
And confident.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get on a roll and you're confident and you just start pumping in like that, the first pitch strike. 6 of his 15 saves have been 1-run saves, and he's doing a great job. It's not just all 3-run saves. And
you cannot be lucky and get a lot of 1-run saves. I mean, you got to command the ball, and you got to understand it really helps. And to be able to get that first guy out.
Fernando Tatis. He's a first ball fastball hitter, and he got the first hitter out. Second guy was Tatis, and it was a first pitch fastball that left the ballpark.
So log on to Chili'sBaseball.com. You might win a VIP baseball trip. And at Chili's, just like a ninth inning closer, it's all in the preparation. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Adam Jones, 1 for 3 with the inside the park home run.
And it just got away, talking about Caps with a hanging slider. Well, first pitch, 93 for a strike. Missed with the next one, then came back with a slider to get the second strike. And there's a little extra.
Well, and by not getting a lot of work lately, when you do come in a safe situation, you haven't pitched like yesterday or the day before and pitched a lot, your breaking stuff, you're going to overpower it. You're going to throw right through the break because you're so strong.
Well, that fastball is at 96.
Right. So
it's a little extra late life.
You take your chances with your fastball instead of losing a ball game or losing the lead or having it tied up by hanging a breaking ball by overpowering it.
1-2 to Jones.
Good pitch.
Yeah, well-intentioned, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
I read all the reports. Well, nobody's going to want him because the hits went up last year and blah, 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 blah. And if you don't strike a lot of guys out, hits usually do go up and so on and so on.
He got him.
I think it foul tip.
Ball was close to the corner. Jones offering at it for the first down. By the way, Jim, if you're wondering how a team wins when they have a -20 in run differential, you're looking at it.
That'll have a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah. Cap's been tremendous. We call him the Mad Capper. He is as nice and shy as you want off the field and then on. He is just very intense, but great
foul
pitch.
tip it, yeah.
Oh, no. You see.
Well, that's good old-fashioned hardball right there. Throw it low and away and see what they can do.
Well, and he also, in getting to know him, he was almost embarrassed by the lack of people clamoring for him in the offseason. The Cubs were another team that was interested in him. But he wanted to be a closer. He wanted to close every day. And with Marmol there in Chicago, you couldn't promise that. And here in D.C., with McDougal or some of the other guys that you were running out there last year, and seeing what you see now, he would have taken this job anyway.
One of your former managers, Lou Piniella, said, you want to have a good team, you better win the games you're supposed to win. And that's exactly what he's done for the Nationals.
Yeah, and those are the ones you're ahead after 8.
Yep.
And in some cases 7. Rain still pelting down. Can't be easy for the hitter out there. And the 0-2 with 1 out. Another offer by the hitter, and Mike Estabrook says no swing.
Well, we saw his strike zone yesterday, so it's not hard to believe.
Well, this
on the
one
side, here's the plate. Let's see if he breaks the plane. Nope, perfect.
A little extra, 97. Well, it's a good condition to throw a spitter because the ball's wet. You kind of keep everything dry. And a hanging slider.
Way upstairs, maybe he hung it up too high.
Oh, no, backup slider. It's the best pitch in baseball.
Clint Eastwood, hanging high.
Who did the fans vote for? Adam Dunn right now as the player of the game, sponsored by AT&T. Wiggins at a 2-run homer in the 6th. Willingham's was before that, and Adam Dunn, the big hit.
Big bad Dunn.
Hey, that tells you the fans who voted, they know all about timing, because the timing of Dunn's hit, while not a home run, was the best time of the game. 7-6, 1 out to go for Washington to even the series. And the hitter is Scott Moore. Ryan Zimmerman. Washington wins it 7-6, and there will be a rubber game tomorrow.
No better way to have a rivalry than to play games like this. And now 17, including today, 2 runs or less in the last 25.
Number 16 in a row for Matt Capps. Nationals win it 7-6.